Welcome everyone. We're here in day 5 of the World Championship, day 2 of team racing, and today is going to be a very, very special day. We're going to have the first world champions crowned of this regatta.
True. That's enticing, and we will be able to follow that here now. In the background, you see the kids are out just testing the waters, waiting for a little bit more knowledge and clarity on what's happening. But we see they're just testing out the waters. 16 teams will race in this final.
Yeah, and from there we will start knocking people out until we get to the final 2. We can see here Swedish sailors, GBR sailors, and Spanish sailors just testing a bit the starting line, seeing how it's working out. Also some Argentinians coming in. Looks like right now we're going to have for the first match Spain versus GBR. For this first match, we have in the Spanish team Mar Infante, Juan Leonard, Jan Palou, Marta Mansito, and Alejandro Valero representing Spain. And on the other side, representing GBR, we have Patrick Di Sale, Finn Ramos, Laszlo Drummond, Charles Holland, and Jonathan Rogers. It's going to be a very tight match, and that's for sure. And we can see the race committee is starting to get ready. They're about to hoist the orange flag. Once we get the orange flag up, we'll start getting into the procedures. Just to refresh everyone, this is the team racing course that we'll be putting shortly on screen. The sailors usually stop them each other in the marks, doing what we call a mark trap, and they just try to let the teammates pass. Here, the focus is different. It's not as in normal fleet racing where we want to do the least amount of meters the fastest way possible. Here, there's also a look at counting numbers, and we have a very special number, which is 18. 18 is the points where there's a winner and a loser, as there's a total of 36 points. Under 18, you have a win for sure. And if there's 18, a match in points, the person that has the first place loses.
We have not read any final confirmations from this, but as we see in the bracket, the first race is supposed to be Germany-Portugal. So we believe that this is a race to determine who goes into the X-axis in the bracket, as you see published per now, right? So this might be a rerun of a match yesterday to determine how the full bracket of 16 looks like. But we don't have a full view of that, right? But we can have an overview of what we know so far. I think we have prepared some graphics for that here, so we can get that in. So as you see here in race 4, it's still undetermined. And also there is a slot in race 8 at the bottom, which is undetermined. So I think that the match we were looking at previously is to determine the full bracket of the competitors. So we see Greece, Portugal, race 1, Denmark, Peru, race 2, Slovenia, Sweden, race 3, then still not determined on race 4, Italy, Turkey, race 5, USA, Singapore, race 6, Argentina, Australia, race 7, and Brazil versus someone. These are the matches we're expecting a little bit later.
So first minute of this first match, GBR versus Spain. We are seeing the first GBR sailor approaching the line, probably doing some tests, just seeing how the line is looking, and we'll soon see on screen the rest of the sailors from GBR and Spain. Another British sailor coming here in port. Another British coming here also just above the race committee. And it's going to be a tight match for sure. With me now, I have Ton.
Hello, Pablo. Yeah, this will be an interesting match. We will see some tight action. They know that it's win or disappear in this match. You can see they start fighting already. The rules don't apply yet, but they're trying to line up to get the best position. So when the rule starts, they have an advantage. So we can see 4 boats, and the other 4 are probably behind the drone.
P flag just went up. So we're already into protest time, right, Ton?
Correct. So now we'll see. We have GBR 6631 in a tight position. So windward boat. He needs to keep clear, and he made attack. So that was the right action to do.
And it's gonna start getting tight, right?
Yeah, I think there will be lots of penalties before we actually see the start. It seems like both teams go for immediate attack. Team Spain is coached by Fernando Happy Alegre, who is one of the most prominent coaches in Optimist sailing. And he's also an expert at team racing. We can see that his team is seeking the action all the time.
On the other hand, we have GBR, also led by Jaume Genovar. Jaume has coached multiple European champions and in individual and in team racing, so another up-and-coming coaching star. We can see the fleet here starting to approach more the line. Less 1 minute left. And do we see all the sailors? Is everybody on screen, Tom?
Yeah, now we have all 8 sailors in the screen. And it seems like we have a slight pin in favor, or at least the sailors seem to think so. So that's why they're not fighting any longer there on the right side of the starting vessel. And yeah, as you said, this is going to be a match between 2 contenders for the gold, I think. Both teams seem to be very strong.
We're seeing the race committee already close with the flag, meaning that there's little time left. We will soon start seeing when she drops the flag and the real action starts. We'll start seeing the pairing, see how they go against other sailors, and they're just going to try and slow everyone down. Looks like everybody except GBR 6690 is getting a good start.
And it's individual recall, which means a few boats are over. It looked like it was the middle boats. So I think we have 2 boats who have not yet. Oh, maybe they have. I think they saw the flag go down, no?
GBR from Spain, down. One from each nation going back to correct their starting mistake or what they thought is their starting mistake. And what would happen, Ton, if they would get a black flag? P flag?
It's obviously very bad if you are over the line and don't go back. So what happens if your team gets extra points and you get 10 points, which means it would be really hard for the team later on. You have to win by quite a lot. I can walk through that later, how many points you need to win, even if you have a OCS. But let's follow this race first. We have some action going on in the middle. Spain taking a penalty.
And how is the match looking right now? It looks like Spain has a 1 and a 2 at the moment, right? Would look like to me like Spain 3-3-6-5 and Spain 3-6-9-6 are in a 1.
I think GBR has the left side.
Yeah, looks like they're crossing there.
We'll see what is going to happen now. It's far too early to say who's in the lead, but they're fighting a lot. A lot of things are going on. We starboard in the middle there. Looks clear.
Great change of marks there by Spain. Marta Mancito just taking this boat on starboard, allowing 3-6-9-6 to go to the starboard ley line there. Looks like, as you were saying, GBR is going to be rounding first, and we have 3 Spanish sailors in content here for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Looks like a good strategy here would be stopping that boat coming from the left ley line, right, Tom? Yeah. And just having your teammates seek through.
It's a really tight match. I think when it's this fast, you really need to pick one opponent and make sure that you win against him or her. It's almost impossible to keep track of the full team. We will see some of the boats will now face an issue to tack around the mark. Probably in some idea to let a teammate pass under.
Looks like 3-6-6-0 going fast to the mark, while his teammate 3-6-9-6 just slowing everyone down a bit, followed by the 2 Brits. And looks like Spain has 7 and 8 at the moment, so it would be quite a problem for them. They need to change this around. 3-6-6-0 stopping in the mark. Let's see how it turns around this mark trap. 3-6-9-6 taking GBR 6-6-5-8. And they need to turn the situation around Spain. They need to allow their teammates to pass and see how it goes. GBR rounding 1st and 2nd now, followed by Spain's 3570. He was a bit out of the game. I think he took turns in the first upwind mark, and the first upwind, sorry, and now he's in third place. So great job by his teammates there, and the tables have turned now. It's GBR that has 7 and 8, and then they have to now push and find a position going through. Let's just repeat the sailors in this match. In this match, we have Mari Infante, Joan Leonard, Marta Mancito, Gianpaolo, and Alejandro Valero. On the other team, we have Patrick Di Sale, Finn Ramos, Laszlo Drummond, and Charles Holland, and Jonathan Rogers. It's only 4 versus 4, so there's always one teammate resting. And once we know who it is, we could maybe say, but very tight action, lots of stuff to comment about, so it's complicated to see.
And we also have the next match lining up for a start. We're going to go there. It seems like we have Greece versus Portugal in this matchup. We have a little bit more than 1 minute. But we have some really strong sailors here for Greece. We have Georgios Kanavas, Christos Yanglekis, and Odysseus Detsis, Mariana Macri, and Nicolas Papas.
Yeah, they're coming into this team race as first nation overall. They have really good positions in the overall with their sailors. And on the other hand, we have Portugal's Guilherme Rieder, Guilherme Costa, Diego Reis, Fonso Vital, and Vicente Costa. We've also seen some of the Portuguese sailors doing very good. And shall we go to the other match, see how it's turning around?
We're going back to the first match, GBR against Spain, and we can see that they are now approaching what are we actually seeing here? The last upwind, I think. This is the last mark.
Great job here by Juan Leonard, just stopping everyone, managing to take the 2 Brit sailors.
Could be that is it really hard to see if this is the last upwind or if it's...
Yes, looks like it's the last upwind, right?
So we have some action, and we're also going to see the start of Greece. So we have Portugal and Greece. It looks like Greece got an advantage, winning both the boat end and the fin.
That's a great start by the Greeks there, definitely showing why they're #1 nation. We also have, looks like a clear start. There was no one over the line, at least we didn't see individual recalls, so this match is on.
Yeah, and let's look at the finish. First match, we can see that we have GBR finishing
first and second,
and then we have Spain. So now Spain needs to have 4 boats in a row in order to secure this. And at the moment they have that, and GBR has the 2 last boats, so it means that Spain's going to qualify for the final 16.
Yes.
We're going back to the Greek match.
Lots of action happening here. It's going to be another dynamic, quick day.
Yeah, it looks like Portugal has climbed up a bit. They're still behind, but close enough to be fighting.
And we will be updating the bracket once we know. Whoever passes from here will pass to the next round, and then the loser will go to the losers bracket, right, Tom?
Yes, correct. We will walk you through that a little bit later.
So we're seeing here the first mark approach. Greece 3200.
Yeah, the teammate ducking, but sadly it didn't help because Greece was still hooked.
So we have the Greek here tacking in the mark. Let's see what he does. Okay, he's bearing away, going for another tack.
Yeah, and we have a clear situation here. Looks like we're going to have Portugal climbing up a little bit, still fighting. Greece was 1 and 2, but no longer.
And who is there coming in last, a bit past overlay? Like, is it Portuguese sailor that we see rounding last? Or is it Greek? Yes, it's Portuguese.
Sailor, yes.
So that means Greek has the match at the moment, 7 and 8. Remember, always loses. So now it's time to Portugal to catch up.
Yeah, and this is a really tight match. We're probably going to see Portugal try to race down to the downwind mark to lay a mark trap.
We have Portuguese sailor coming in first, followed by 2 Greek sailors. Another Portuguese just trying to slow these boats down. If he can manage to get his teammates together, it will be 3 versus 2, so that would make situation a bit easier.
And we can see the team splitting up in pairs. That's quite normal in a tight race like this.
And we can already see in the background the next starting line, it's already another start, too much action, lots of action, and we can see that the teams are really on point today.
Yeah, we're going to go to that race a little bit later, and it's going to be Denmark against Puerto Rico. Now we have the boats approaching the downwind mark, and it looks like it's Greece rounding. No, it's not.
Portugal rounding in first.
And Greece second and third.
He has decided not to lay a mark trap, so now he has the 2 Greeks just behind him. Another Greece now 2, 3, 4. This would be a winning combination for Greece, so Portugal has to turn the situation around now.
Yeah, and we can also see Greece just catching overlap on the bottom. It's really important, because if you have the last sailor, your team's going to have to struggle a lot more.
Portugal starting to slow the fleet down here. What we're seeing now is pulling the main sheet in really hard, weight to the back, just trying to slow the group, make everyone catch up with everyone. I believe we have here Portugal's Guilherme Rieder doing a great job there, just slowing down the fleet, making it compact, allowing his teammates opportunities to pass. Yeah. Let's see if he goes for a mark trap.
Away because they lost the boat, so
that's going to be very costly. So now the Greeks just have to make sure to finish this race in this position, right? We have Portugal here, Guillermo attacking, forcing Greece 3-1-5-2. I believe it's Odysseus from Greece. Great shots here. We can see that this is a tight race. Looks like Greece is starting to pull it in the bank, but we can't give anything for certain. We've seen races change just in the finish line.
Yeah, and in this position, Greece has 3 top 4, and that's a winning combination. And now it's going to be really tight for Portugal to catch up. The only hope is to find the third boat and try to lock that boat and prevent it from tacking.
Right?
Yeah, but in this case, we need to prevent Greece from tacking, and it looks like we failed to do so on the right side. So now Greece is 1, 2, and 3 in the finish line, and they could even be 1, 2, 3, 4 in the end. So it looks like
game over, right?
Faster in the end.
Great racing here.
Not 100% game over, but looks very hard because Greece 31.84 is fetching the line, which makes it a lot harder to do anything about him to finish. We will see, Greece taking this match. So next up will be Denmark against Puerto Rico, and we will go there soon. And we're back, and we now see Denmark against Puerto Rico. No, it's actually Sweden lining up.
So we already missed the other race that was going on at the same time.
Let's have a look quickly at Denmark against Puerto Rico first. We have them up in mark, it looks like. And we can see Denmark struggling a bit. They have the 2 last boats, and then they have the 3rd and 4th boats. So probably they will go for a strategy where they try to push the Puerto Rican middle boats to the back. And that's a 4 against 2 situation, which we talked about yesterday, which is favorable for the ones who are 4. But remember, Puerto Rico still has 1st and 2nd, so they can lay the mark trap at the downwind mark. We will go to the starting line where we will see Sweden fighting against Slovenia, and that's a match of titans. We have really fast sailors in the Slovenian team. And I know that Sweden has trained some team racing, so we'll see if their team racing skills can match up to the Slovenian team.
So as the day goes through, we'll be updating the bracket, just showing how the changes are going. At the moment, we're in race 3 and race 2 and race 3, right, Tom?
Correct. So we're just gonna look quickly here how it's going in the Puerto Rico against Denmark match. Looks like people are waiting at the downwind mark. Seems like Denmark is managing to catch up a little. They have 2 against 1 now. Puerto Rico trying to round, and it looks like they will succeed. So there's only one more chance to do something in the market.
Puerto Rico, definitely a very, very strong nation in team racing. They finished third last year in the Opti Worlds in Mar del Plata in team racing. So they will for sure be trying to get another podium, or at least try to be in contention for it.
Yeah, now we're back to Sweden against Slovenia. They're about to start. We can see that most sailors want to go a little bit more towards the pin, which is probably a favorite. But equally important here is to just win against the opponent that is close to you. We can see Sweden taking the start at the pin and actually also at the boat. So it looks very good for Sweden out of the start.
Another clear start, no individual recall, so it's gun time, ready to race. We can see that it's a tight match already, lots of attacks happening.
Yeah, and it looks like Sweden has control of this race at the moment. They have 3 guys winning on the right side and also somewhat being okay on the left side, even though it looks like 49-22 Ernst is going to drop down a bit. Let's look at the other match, and we're going to see the last rounding up for the
Denmark versus Puerto Rico here. We see Puerto Rico in a good position. Looks like could even be a 1-3 depending on Puerto Rico's 87th stack. And we'll see how it goes now. It's still a quite close match. You see, no one is clear ahead of the other team. So Denmark also taking penalty now. Let's see this crossing versus Puerto Rico. Okay, Puerto Rico just crossing here. They have a good contention. They just need to make sure that their Puerto Rico in the left side teammate is able to cross ahead. If they do this, it would be a 1-3, meaning that they would be happy with this result.
Yeah, and Puerto Rico looks like they're gonna cross clearly, but it seems like there's one Danish boat, 8806, who can do something if he's fast enough. It's gonna be really tight. Here's the cross that's gonna decide the match. Both attacking. Oh, could be a penalty there. We will see.
Penalty for who? For who there?
Puerto Rico, we don't know yet. We'll wait for the umpire flag. But even if there's a penalty, there's another Puerto Rican 99 on the right side who cannot finish before the Danish boats. It's very tight, and it looks like we do not have any flags from the umpires. So that means Puerto Rico has won this match.
Congrats, Puerto Rico. You're off to the next round. The battle keeps on going. So in the following round, we will have Puerto Rico versus Greece. It's going to be a very, very big match. Very good individual sailors from Greece versus the bronze medalists of last year, Puerto Rico. So for sure, it's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sweden and Slovenia battling it out on the first reach. Looks like Sweden is in the lead, but this is a very close match. Slovenia is right on top of the leading Swedes. This is going to be a very unclear situation on the downwind. Probably they're going to try and sort out 1 against 1 to make it a little bit clearer. And
the reaching is looking quite wide, right, Ton? Everybody's coming quite in a downwind angle, probably from heading up so much and just trying to luff at the other boats, and it just creates very, very longer course than it should be. For sure, in fleet racing, this would take less time, right?
Yeah, and we will see what's happening here. It looks like the Swedes want to take the inner side, while Slovenia trying to push the outer side a little bit. The boats are all going down like in a line, so this could go any way.
Sometimes playing stupid is a good tactic. You just get everybody close and just slow everyone down, and once you're in the mark, you lay the trap. But as you see before, in the downwind mark, it can become chaos very, very quickly. So you have to be able to react extremely quickly and make sure that you're prepared for the worst.
Yeah, and looks like Ernst Olsson 49-22 from Sweden is first to the mark, which means he can do what he wants. He can let people from his own team pass. But there are 2 Slovenians now. It's not going to be easy. Slovenia is doing it really well. Now Slovenia have to go up there, and that's very dangerous because now Sweden come round, but there's a starboard port situation. Question is, did Sweden 49-42 have
I
much?
see the umpire getting close. Will we see a flag there coming up? Will there be any protest? Slovenia taking penalty. This puts Sweden into a 2-3-4 position. That's a comfy position if they can hold on to. But for sure, Slovenia 4-8-7 won't stop there. They're going to try and lay another mark trap in the reaching mark. Another good position to lead a mark trap there. You can really slow down and compress the fleet and even get penalties.
Yeah, correct. And it's good for Slovenia that it has a few meters ahead because now it's a little bit easier to do the attack. Sweden needs to split. We will probably see some boats going under and some boats staying in order to not be locked on one side. And there we see the split, and Slovenia is forced to sail. Meanwhile, in the back, Sweden 4-9-3-9. Just make sure that
Giving a bit of breathing space, right, to his teammates.
Finished, around the mark, the boats, and Sweden 4-9-4-2 is dropping back a little. We see Sweden attacking, forcing the teammates to duck, which is dangerous, but it looks like Sweden 49-46 is still clear on the left side.
This is definitely a tight match. We have Sweden in last position or looking like last, so if the Slovenian could manage to get a 7 also, it would be game over for Sweden. So they really have to, nothing is for certain here. They have to keep on going and they have to make sure to cross that line in the position they're right now.
Yeah, and we will see the leading Slovenian boat needs to decide which Swede to attack. And we'll probably see attack coming here on the right lane.
And what would be a good idea there? Could you force the person above the finishing line, just slow him down so he can finish?
You can do that if you're first into the zone. But in this case, it looks really, really hard. I think Sweden just going to roll over. And by doing that, it's going to mean that Sweden will probably win this, unless some magic happens here in the last few meters. And there's a tack. It's going to be a Slovenian penalty.
See penalty there. So
and Sweden is 1, 2, and 3.
So Sweden goes through. Slovenia goes into the losing bracket and on to the next match.
And here in the next match, we have New Zealand against Spain. We just started, so we see the left side of the first half win. There's a big fight between New Zealand 45-65 and both from Spain. New Zealand is forced to attack. We have another cross, 2 New Zealand boats trying to not be in each other's way. We cannot see the last 2 Spanish boats, but from what we can see here, New Zealand is in a good position. There are some technical problems with the internet, but while we're working on it, we're going to continue commenting. We have New Zealand first and second to the first mark, but Spain is coming strong later with what could be 4 boats, which means Spain is in the lead and New Zealand needs to do something.
But we have here New Zealand 4-8-2-3 in a comfy position. He can really turn things around. He'll probably have to make a decision. 3 boats coming. He'll have to take 1 or 2, depending on what he does. We have here Spain 3-5-7-0 that just protesting there. Will we see a turns? Yep. We're seeing turns by New Zealand. So this puts Spain into a really, really, really comfy position. New Zealand now 7 and 8. Spain doing turns also. Spain 3-3-6-5. So we are seeing the situation turn around constantly, very quick. It's very hard to have a winner and a loser here fast, as anything can happen. Looks like New Zealand is doing more turns. That would put New Zealand in a 7 and 8 position. And are we seeing even more turns? Yep. New Zealand 4-8-2-3. I believe, no, 4-8-12. Doing turns is going to be costly. It's 3 versus 4 now. So New Zealand is gonna have to pull a great job. 3-6-6-0 just protesting there. They're bearing away now. Will we see action by committee? Will we see by the umpire? Will we see red flag, green flag? We'll see it in a second if there's anything.
Yeah, we can see now that Spain is trying to create a little bit of a gap so that Spain will have a numerical superiority when they come to the mark. That's a very good strategy.
And the winner from this match will be fighting against Sweden, whilst the loser of this match will be fighting against Slovenia. So we're going to see how this changes as we play out the day. We'll be filling the bracket. Let's see this mark trap, see how it looks, and we can maybe go quickly to see the bracket.
Yeah, Spain going first into the rounding, and it looks like Spain's going to be 1, 2, and 3. It's going to be really hard for Slovenia to do something later.
Look how they're stopping the boat when needed, and really like playing with sharp rudder movements to slow the boat, turn when needed. Whatever is needed here for your teammates. And look like Spain is in a comfy 1, 2, 3 there. They just need to be fast now.
Yeah, it looks like it's just cruising into the finish. But we have seen bigger surprises in previous years. So I think New Zealand 45-66 gonna really try hard to be as fast as possible and catch Spain 36-96.
And what would Spain 3-3-6-5 do there, Tom? What would be the best situation?
Probably that boat will try to be as slow as possible and hook all of the New Zealand boats, even if it means he or she will lose something herself. The other boats will be blocked, and there will be an even bigger gap between the top of the fleet and the bottom of it. So at the moment, we have Spain winning with no trouble.
Oh, Spain looking very comfy there.
Even get the 4th position, depending on the outcome here in this port speed. But we will see Spain just cruising into the finish. They will probably not try to help their teammate because they're already winning.
So great job by Spain. They're looking like they're going to pass to next round. Their next match will be Sweden. So we're going to have a bit of conflict of interest here in the streaming studio. We're Swedes and Spanish. So let's see how it plays out. We're ready to go to the next match where we have Italy versus Turkey. Two very strong nations in both individual and fleet racing and team racing. So we're going to see great matches here. Italians have won many awards in team racing, and they for sure have another strong nation and a strong team here.
Indeed. And as soon as we get a break, we'll fix the stuttering that we have with the stream. But for now, we're going to follow this race because we have not watched Italy and Turkey race before.
Yeah, it looks like something that's really important to me is that the sailors have to be extremely fast. They're not only thinking about all the combinations, all the situations that can happen, but they have to sail the boat fast. And it's really hard what they're doing here. So great job by all of them. We see Turkey and Italy here stopping in the mark. Italy 275 going extremely high above ley line. But as I said before, here what's not important is doing the course in the fastest time or the shortest distance, but making your team win. So we're going to see situations like this happen quite a lot. Marcelo, the Italian coach, for sure has worked lots with the team, and that's what they told us. So we're going to see great tactics and great teamwork here.
Yeah, and we can see Italy pulling ahead a little bit in the top, which will make it a lot easier when they come to the downwind mark. There's also an opportunity with this gap to make the tack and come back to starboard. Doesn't look like that's something the Italian team wants to do in this case. So we can see Turkey holding up the bottom Italian boat to create some gap so that Italy can be in a numerical superiority in the other group in the middle. And because they're winning the middle, now it's easier for them to make sure that their last teammate 1775 is also ahead of the Italian sailor. But the Italians know this, so they're actually trying to do something at the reach mark, which is not a common strategy. It will be really interesting to see what they will pull out of their hats. It seems like they try to just push 2 boats each. We will see what happens. The problem with this strategy is that even if you succeed, you will have the opponent right behind you on the whole downwind. So the advantage, even when winning, is not that big. So that's why some coaches want to go just immediately to the downwind mark. We saw Italy there making a double jab. And the reason you want to do that is so that you can easier sail away with one of your opponents. You do not have proper course after jabbing.
Turkey here taking penalty.
Meanwhile, we have the next race. We're gonna go to USA against Singapore.
USA versus Singapore. Singapore are the current silver medals. They won medalists. They finished second in Mar del Plata last year, and you can see that it's going to be a great match here. They've both been training team racing quite a lot. US sailors went to Trofeo Marco Risotti, which is one of the biggest Optimist team racing regattas. So for sure, we're going to see a top match here.
Yeah, and looks like it's Team USA who's betting more on the left side, trying to get a little bit more boats there and win fast, and then make the tag. We will see if they cross. So the really important thing here is, can the US boats cross? If they do, they will probably have a significant advantage later on.
Yeah, and remember, something told us when we spoke with Pablo Munoz in one of our Q&As. He told us that the US team were certain that once they have winning positions, they have to change to fleet racing and just sail fast and quick and take the shifts. They will do so. So we're probably seeing something like this here. We managed to see an early lead, but we're just seeing US sailor taking a penalty there. Is it one turn or two turns? Two turns, so that's going to be very, very, very expensive for the USA. The match has just turned around. We have Singapore coming very strong from this right ley line. And the Singapore guys are really, really pushing for this right side. Maybe they're seeing something that the US sailors didn't agree with.
Yeah, I think the boats are actually very close to ley line. We will see when we approach the mark. We have Singapore leading here, the bottom of the image. It's really depends on where the mark is, if they're actually in the lead or not.
And looks like in the other fleet, Turkey and Italy are already in the upwind mark. Let's just refresh ourselves where they are in the positions.
Looks like Italy has pulled ahead. We can see that Italy is first, second, and third.
So looking like a good match for Italy. As I told you, Ton, Italy is looking like a very, very strong contender for this team racing worlds, and they're for sure proving here now.
Yeah, it's a really fast team, and they also know how to team race. We will go back because I think this match is done.
They seal the deal, right?
Yeah. We have USA going first in the mark. And then we have a lot of mock traps. We have Singaporean sailors waiting for the teammates. But the problem now is, will one of the American sailors hook a Singaporean sailor? One is enough to make this a really tough match. And it looks like they got Singapore 49. We'll see if Singapore 49 can make the tag without losing to the 8th position. And it looks like he was successful. We still have two Americans in the back.
And the winner from this race will be facing Italy. As of what we saw before, these are all obviously unconfirmed results, but looks like it's going to be Italy versus either Singapore or USA, depending on who wins this match.
Yeah, and we will definitely see the US doing something later on in this match. There is there's only one American boat in the front here. So we will see what that boat will do. Probably we will see some kind of practice mock trap.
Yes, here like the manual comes in. We have what we call a playbook, which are like different techniques, different ideas, different strategies of what to do when we're in certain situations. And sometimes maybe it's playing risky and trying to get one sailor really hooked and sending to last place. Maybe he tries to just compress the fleet. So we're going to have to see how it plays off. Yeah. Pablo Munoz here from the US. We had a Q&A with him, like really stopping. Let's see what he does. He has to be really careful to not leave the zone. When he leaves the zone, situation changes a lot. But he's looking like he's doing a great job just to fend off the sailors. And what happens if he tacks, Ton? Why isn't he tacking?
Yeah, if you will lose your right to round the mark. But you still have right of way. So if you're starboard or if you're leeward boat, you can still sail normally. But it looks like he couldn't do that much because he was 1-3. So he had an option here just to try and squeeze the field a little bit tighter, or he could try to pick just one boat. Probably he thought it was too early to just pick one boat, and he wanted to squeeze it and see what happens.
Yeah, because sometimes mark traps are just to compress the fleet, as you're saying, and once we get them together, maybe in the next mark you can lay up another trap, and there where you get the penalty. And because if you do turns and the fleet is really stretched out, maybe it doesn't change the outcome. So it's better doing turns once the fleet is all compressed.
Yeah, and we will now go to the next race.
This is non-stop. We're having here Argentina versus Australia. Next match coming up, I believe it's race 7 of the day. Already 7 races inside, and we're seeing another tight race. Looking like, let's see how it's looking now. Looks like Argentina looks very tight here. We have man on man. We have Australians with Argentinians, also towards Australian and Argentinian on starboard. Looks like they're gonna go over the ley line, or that's another idea. If we can get a strong sailor above ley line and just make him finish last. You can't really stop boats once you're last.
Yeah, and seems like Argentina is going to be slightly faster in this first upwind. It's very important to be the first to the upwind mark. And while we wait to see the outcome, we're going to go back to the match between the USA and Singapore.
Let's see how it's looking.
We can see American sailors, still Pablo in the lead, but he still has to contend with 3 Singaporean boats.
Yes, but looks like a US sailor 22625, 22665 is getting a bit closer, so this could change the situation. Pablo here really has to fend off the competition and just let his teammates breathe and pass few boats.
Yeah, it's very important that he doesn't lose his lead, but at the same time, we have 2 Americans catching up. So now they're almost catching up to Singapore 164 on the right side. And it depends on, can Singapore make this tack? Then it looks like Singapore will be fine. But if you cannot make this tack, that's why the umpire is there. And the tack is successful. And we can see some trouble coming up for the US. We will see.
Romanov doing great job there, really slowing down the boat,
Yeah.
really slowing the fleet. If he could get his teammate into first place and he could maybe fend off, we could see a change of roles here, because it looks like USA 22665 could be coming in first. We have no one coming in. Singapore 142 just waiting to see the outcome. US 400 trying to get his space to go in the line there. It is definitely a very tight match. US 22665 is taking the first place, and he wasn't in the first place. We can see how tight this is. We have 2 Singaporeans and 2 US sailors in the pin end, and we're also seeing the ones in the back, 22684 and 149, that were miles behind, are already in the fleet. So it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be decided in the finish line.
Yeah, and we can see that the US now has 1 and 3rd going into the finish, which will make it a little bit harder for Singapore. They need to get at least 1 American sailor to the back. And US couldn't finish there at the pin end. But on the other side at the boat, and it looks like US going to go in. And there's maybe also a penalty there for the US. It's really chaotic right now. So it looks like Singapore.
Looks like Singapore took the win, right?
But no, maybe that American boat 400 is still ahead of the Singaporean boat. We will see what the finishing vessel has to say about this. Meanwhile, we have Australia
versus Singapore. Australia versus Argentina.
Yeah, and it looks like Argentina is pushing strong. We can see they're going to lay a mark trap here, which will force the Australian sailors to make a split. But the problem is a split doesn't work when you're going against 2 sailors, unless you have a 3rd Australian sailor. So in this case, it's rarely good to try and round, because you will be hooked. It's often better to find another boat behind you and try to make sure that you're ahead of that one. But here comes the last Australian boat, so they're actually 3 boats. So it looks like they will be able to round, but it will be really tight.
And as always, look how the sailors are using the rudder to really slow down the boat when needed. It's definitely a tight match here. We have Argentina in the lead, Argentina second. And then we have 3 Aussie sailors. If they could manage to pass him, we would see a different situation. Right now we have 3, 4, 5, 8 for Australia, 1, 2, 6, 7 for Argentina. So tell me, Ton, who's the winning combination here? How does 1-6 look?
It's quite easy now to see that Argentina is winning. And they also have the top two boats, which will give them an advantage in terms of what they can do here at the last mark. We'll probably see another mark trap. Question is, what will Australia do? Will they start attacking the Argentinian boats in the back, or will they try to round the mark? We can see Argentina didn't actually go through with the mark trap, so all boats are just gonna sail.
And what should Australia try and do now?
Yeah, it's there are many different strategies here, but they don't really need to do that much yet because it's very clear what they need to do. They're just gonna stay close to the Argentinian sailors and wait for an opportunity later on. It's on Argentina now to actually do something because in the bottom, the Australian team.
Flag red to Argentina 4175. This will probably take him out of the race right now because he's too far away and he has lots of catching up to do. So, as we're seeing, as always, situation changing extremely quickly.
Yeah, and as I said before, it's a little bit hard for Argentina because they have to make the decision: are we going to pull our sailors back and help in the back, or are we just going to try and finish? And it looks like already had some issues because one boat tried to go back and one stayed, and now they're recalling the top boat as well.
Maybe it was a strategy to diversify a bit, wait a bit, not send all your soldiers at once. Because if the situation is good, you want to go through the line, right, Tom?
Yeah, well, normally you don't want to go early. You always want to stay close to the action as long as you're sure that you can finish in the position that you want. We have a really close call there between Australia 1575 and Argentina 4048. Looks like it's going to be green flag, and there's another situation now on the right side between Argentina 4011. Looks like Australia's going to finish first and second, which means they need to have the two last boats, and we cannot see the last Argentinian boat, so I think Australia's going to win this. We will see where
Good job, Australia.
boat is.
Take off.
The next matchup is, we're going to check the next matchup. We only have one drone on the race course, so we have to fly it to the
Home
next
point
match.
updated.
Just to remind ourselves, all the losers of these races are not instantly eliminated. They can go to the losers bracket, and from there onwards, winning could mean that you managed to win the regatta.
Yeah, and here we have Greece against Puerto Rico. We have a little bit less than 1 minute to the start.
So Greece versus Puerto Rico. This is already the second round of racing. This is the second round. Let's remember ourselves. Greece won against Portugal, and Puerto Rico won against Denmark. So this is the next pairing we're seeing.
Yeah. And looks like Puerto Rico is winning the pin end, opening on the left, but we can see that the wind has picked up, so it's very easy to sail. So it's hard to give enough bad air to the boat to windward in time. So we will see most boats now going towards the right side. We have Puerto Rico winning the left, probably Greece winning the right, but we will have to wait for confirmation. You can see that Greece is catching up on the left side, leading the left side, but there is a tack to be made, so it's not sure yet. It's just a little bit of pressure in the middle, and Greece 3200 won't be able to tack. So we have three other Puerto Ricans on the left side of the course. It's gonna really matter now if right or left's gonna win. Looks like it's quite even. Even though we have a very short upwind, it doesn't mean that there are no pressure differences or wind shifts. It looks like the left side is winning, so that's very good for Puerto Rico. So we think that Puerto Rico is in the lead for now, but we'll have to wait until the boats get up to the mark. Meanwhile, Greece is pushing and doing what they can on the right side, trying to get a hook on at least one of the Puerto Rican boats. And it looks like they have one boat, but one boat is not going to be enough. They need one more. And at the moment, I don't think they have it. But we will see now from the left lane on Puerto Ricans coming in. And yeah, as we talked about before, Greece 32-0 is not ahead. So that means Greece only has one boat under control for now. There's some tacking going on. It's going to be really tight. Can Greece 10-28 do something against one of the top three Puerto Ricans? That's going to be extremely important. We also have Greece 32-00 coming in with speed on starboard ley line. But as things are now, it looks like Puerto Rico is going to round 1, 2, and 3 because Puerto Rico 99 can just stop, and that's exactly what's happening. We can see Puerto Rico gonna sacrifice the fourth boat in order to hold up Greece so that they get an advantage big enough to be impossible to catch up to. So now Greece is rounding and we have this 10-meter gap, which is extremely dangerous. Luckily, at least there are 3, maybe even 4 Greek boats in the middle, but at least one of them needs to catch up. We're going to go to the next race, where we have Denmark facing off against Portugal.
Yes, these are the losers of the first 2 races, and they're going to be fighting for a spot to survive. From now on, all we have is, with these losers, the spot to survive. If they lose again, they're out, right, Tom?
Correct. You can only lose once today, while yesterday you couldn't lose at all. We will try and prepare some results graphics for you a little bit later after the finish of the previous match. So let's see how it goes on the downwind. We have Puerto Rico still in the lead, but Greece is really trying to catch up. There are different strategies here. You could try and go 3 against 1 and completely kill the wind from behind, or you could do this when you gamble a little bit more that there will be pressure differences on the downwind. And it looks like this one is not going to pay off enough, but also the Greek boats cannot round at the same time, so probably, the Puerto Rican boats cannot round at the same time, so probably Greece will be just right behind. We will wait a little bit and come back to this match when we approach the last mark.
Portugal versus Denmark here. Win to survive, lose, and it's game over for your team. Still a bit more breathing space than yesterday, as Tom said, it's a knockout. So let's see how it plays out. We're less than 1 minute into the start, if I'm not wrong. And we're seeing a bit of a slow start here, man on man.
Now we're approaching the final mark. We have Puerto Rico still in the lead. They will probably just try to round. It's not worth trying to get extra distance. And here we have the leading boat tacking immediately in order to be able to tack again right in front of Greece 3184 if needed.
Puerto Rico looking good here. They just need to win. They just need to win. Doesn't matter the distance. They just need to get that 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but it looks like Puerto Rico 103 is going to be in trouble. We have Greece 3200 who is
looking
up
fast.
Yeah, and we will see here. There's enough wind to make really good tacks, but still Puerto Rico is in the lead.
They just need to fend off the rest. If they manage to fend off and survive, just means they pass to the next round, and that would mean they're closer to the finals. Whilst what will happen with Greece if they lose?
I'm not sure if this is the winners or losers, but I'm guessing
these are the winners.
So then they fine, and then they will move to the losers bracket. But for now, let's focus on the match. We have this tacking duo. The good thing for Greece is that the Puerto Rican boats are not fetching ley line, which means they need to make a port tack. And we have some Greek boats on the right side who are actually hooking. This is going to be extremely interesting. And I'll go down to the wire. There's a penalty on Puerto Rico there. We might get another penalty. Looks like it's going to be another penalty here.
Yep.
No, actually, maybe yes, it's going to be one more penalty for sure. So it looks like Greece is turning this around on the finish line. Such an amazing comeback.
So what's the combination looking like to you right now, Ton?
Yeah, it looks like the Greece team has 1 and 2 and 4 going into the finish. Maybe 5, but it doesn't matter. They will win anyway. So this was an impressive turnaround.
Great job by Greece there.
Meanwhile, we have Denmark against Portugal. We have Denmark in the lead with 2 strong boats on the left side and relatively free lanes on the right side. And also Portugal taking a penalty. So Denmark is massively in the lead for now. Denmark is approaching mark. Given the situation, they will probably not try to make a mark trap and instead focus on the reach, where it's a little bit easier to make an attack. Portugal on the left side, 28-23, will decide this race. If that boat is able to round in second position, it will be extremely much easier for Portugal to survive this race. But looks like it's gonna round in 4th position, and also Denmark is number 5. So Denmark has this opportunity to block 3 boats rounding the upwind mark.
3 for the price of 1, right?
Yeah, that's worth it every time. And we will see now if the last Portuguese boat has any chance to catch up. Denmark still going strong with a 1st to 3rd position.
But we've seen in the last match that Greece managed to turn it around, so nothing is sold here, nothing is finished. Everything could still turn around.
And there's a huge gap down to the next few boats, and we can see that the Danish boats fulfill the strategy of blocking 3 boats from Portugal. It's really hard now. They also have a numerical superiority here in the top. So even if you catch up, you have to block for at least 20 meters in order to get any help. And the only way to do this is probably on the reach, because on the upwind it's almost impossible when you are free against us. We will prepare some graphics for you. And while waiting for the graphics, we can see that Denmark has dropped off, probably blocking for a little bit too long until he or she got a penalty, and that's why we have Denmark in 8th position. So if Portugal can catch up, it looks like we have a really interesting match. But for now, it's not so easy. We will follow this duel between Portugal 28-23 and Denmark 88-06. We will see if the other Danish boats come down to help. But for now, it looks like no help is needed. And could there have been a collision there?
If there's a collision, there will be a penalty for sure. So let's see how it plays off.
Yeah, Portugal going low, gonna pass the Danish boats, unless Denmark can get some help. You can see attack forcing Denmark to the other side, but now here's the problem. Now this 3rd Danish boat can now sail its own lane, and other Danish coming down to help. So Portugal is going to be in huge trouble. We have Denmark coming up first to third, and we're also going to give you an overview of the results for now. We have not been able to get all the results, but we're going to have a quick.
So as we see Greece that won against Puerto Rico in the last match, so they're off into the next round. Puerto Rico falls into the losers bracket. Game is still not over, but they need to win lots of matches now, a few more. Next up, we'll have Sweden against Spain, Italy versus Singapore, and Australia versus the winner of race 8, which we haven't even been able to see. At the moment, we're seeing in screen Sweden versus Spain. Controversial match here in the studio, but let's see who wins.
Maybe there was a penalty there. We will see. Yeah, there's a penalty.
Green flag. Green flag we see there.
Penalty. It looked like the sailor was gonna spin. We will see Sweden 49-39 being really close. This match is far from over because Sweden has 4 boats in the middle. Spain will probably have some prepared strategy to survive this. This is for sure one of the combinations they have practiced. We can see the first boat, Spain to 570, trying to go early to the mark, probably trying to lay a mark trap. Sweden is trying to catch one boat. They are satisfied with using only one boat, Alexander Forsen, covering the win from Spain 36-60, while Ernst Åkesson 49-22 is trying to go straight to the mark. It's very important for Sweden that they can catch up in time. So we will see now what Spain will do with the first and second boats. Will they round the mark or will they wait? It looks like there's going to be a Spain 36-60 going in third position. It's going to be really hard for Sweden now, because now we only have the reach left. We will finish this rounding, see if there's some action, but there is nothing happening, so we will move quickly to the next match, where we have Slovenia against New Zealand, and this is in the losers bracket, which means the loser here will have to go home, or go home to the harbor. So let's see here. We have New Zealand going strong on the left side, Slovenia a little bit stronger on the right side.
Great conditions today, looking like great day for team racing, really able to spin the boat when needed, do tags, do jibes, you name it, it can all happen, so it's great conditions overall.
Meanwhile, Sweden is trying to catch up Spain. Looks like Spain is actually gaining a few meters. It's going to be extremely hard now because there's only the upwind left. It's going to be 3 against 1 or 3 against 2. We will go back to this match if there's some further action. Boats are approaching the first mark. We have Slovenia in first position, and then we have New Zealand in second and third position, and also fifth position. The Slovenian boat 487 needs to keep New Zealand 482, I think, on the outer side, so the other boats can catch up, but at the same time it's very important not to lose the boat as you are trying to block. Going back to the Swedish match, and we can see here that Spain is in the lead, but things are starting to happen. There is a really fast boat on the right side. It could catch up in time for the 9:36 and does catch up, but the question now is, can Spain finish? Where is the pin and mark? We can't see the pin and mark.
Great job there by Spain 3C660, letting his teammate pass. And
it looks like it's going to be a very dangerous situation for Spain here if they cannot catch the line, but if they do, it's going to be
great job there by not bearing away and slowing down the boat. That means he can finish in the line.
Very interesting. Can Spain finish? And it looks like there's enough wind to do so, and because they can, Spain's going to win this match. We will just continue to see if Spain hits the mark, because if he or she. Oh, there could be a penalty here. There's a penalty probably between 36.96 and 49.22. Rule
You
6.
see red flag,
red
red
flag.
flag there.
And who gets the flag? It's Sweden who gets the flag, so that means Spain has secured its victory. Meanwhile, New Zealand has the first vote around the mark, and Slovenia the second. New Zealand also has many votes here in the middle, and Slovenia has the bottom third votes. So for sure, New Zealand is leading this match.
So next match we will have in the following is Greece versus Spain. They have both won their matches. Sweden and Puerto Rico both get knocked to the losers bracket, but this is not over for them. They can still race and they can still make it.
Yeah, we can see Slovenia now waiting at the reach mark, trying to do something, probably try to squeeze the fleet a little bit tighter. That will probably result in New Zealand passing, but it's worth it in some cases if you want to focus on only one boat. Next race is Singapore against Italy, and that's a winner's match. We still have some time to go, so we're going to go back to the New Zealand against Slovenia match. There is some fight in the back. We cannot make out the same numbers, but looks like we have New Zealand here in the lead. And Slovenia gave up the ability to lay a mark trap in order to attack early. We now have New Zealand doing the mark trap. So the question is, do they need to do it? They're still winning, but they don't have a clear victory because of Slovenia 487. So we will follow this rounding and see if the mark trap is successful. It's after all 3 against 1. Actually, it's even 4 against 1, depending on how they approach the mark.
If New Zealand could manage to squeeze underneath his teammate, it would turn the situation around quite a lot. Good job there.
Looks like New Zealand will be successful here with first to third position.
Great space, and also it looks like fourth there.
Yeah, it could be in fourth position now. Wow.
So now they just have to be fast. Good job, guys. Good job. One could stay as he's doing and just slow down the rest. Slovenians going very, very low. Let's go see the next start. We have here Singapore versus Italy. Very, very interesting match coming up. Singapore, reigning vice world champions in team racing, versus Italy, that's always been a dominant nation. So we're expecting here a Titans match.
Yes, we have a little bit less than 1 minute to the start. We can see a duel here at the pin end. We have Italy 2-1 in command. Singapore trying to fight a little bit, but we'll see if that boat will try to make a duck. Yeah, and it's doing the duck. That means we are pretty close to acceleration. Maybe even forcing Italy over the line. That's a common strategy in Asia, I know, where people are trying to push other boats above the line. We have a line where it looks like they will be over the line, so we're going to have a recall some boats. There we have the Finnish flag going up, so we'll see a few boats going down, and now it's very risky. 3 boats are down, but it's not all of them. That means some boats still racing over the line.
And I will remember, if you get individual recall and you're over the line and you don't correct your mistake, it's 10 points you add. So it's very important to not take that risk. And we see Italy 2-1 here.
Yeah, and if you're over the line and the other team is not, you really need to have the first and second boats. And then you need to be really good with the rest of the boats as well in order to have a chance of winning. We can see that the flag is still up, so this race will probably be decided when they know who's over the line and not from the racing.
And tell us, Don, how do you correct your mistake if you're over the line here?
Yeah, you have to go under the line. So it's just to sail back and go under the line, but there's also a time limit to it. When it expires, you are OCS.
And looks like the race committee lowered that flag already, so probably over that time limit.
Yes. Now no other boat intends to go down. So by the looks of it, we will have either one or two boats over the line. We have a good fight here on the right side between Italy 117 and 149 from Singapore. Singapore is trying to lock Italy outside the ley line. That's an interesting battle. It's a very good strategy. It's easy to forget about a race when you do this. You really need to know when it's time to stop blocking and go to the mark. Looks like Singapore is also in the lead in the middle. Nice team racing. Trying to just give a little bit of bad wind so the Italian sailors are in each other's way.
Great job there. We see Singapore 142 going for a duck out on top of Italy 275, really trying to slow him down. Seeing if Singapore 164 can pass ahead there. We also have Italy 117 and Singapore 149 coming from starboard line. So let's see how it plays out now.
Yeah, and we can say that Singapore lost the Italian boat, which means it wasn't worth trying to block the Italian boat outside the lay that early. That's normally a maneuver you try to do when you are closer to the finish line or closer to a mark. Now we have Singapore going in the lead here around the mark, unless Italy tries to round, but we will see if they try to round or if they're gonna try and block and help more Italian sailors.
Tell us, Ton, how many boat lengths are here for the zone? Because it's a bit different, right?
Yeah, we have two boat lengths only, which means it's a lot shorter than you think, and also what the sailors mostly think because they're used with 3 boat lengths. We can see the race being really tight. I don't think either team knows exactly who's winning, and they're starting to pick another opponent to sail against.
We're seeing Singapore doing hands to his teammate, like go, 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 go. They're in a 2, 3, 4 position, so that's good. Things turn around very quickly here.
Indeed. Singapore has the advantage, but Italy is also first, which is when you have teams at this high level, being first is always an advantage. Italy is trying to attack on the reach mark already. That will probably indicate that we're going to see a little bit tighter fleet, but also going to be a little bit more random at the end. Italy is just trying
going here for 2 judges, just making the fleet tight.
Yeah. That was a very nice maneuver because Italy 117 is still in the lead even after all those judges.
And Italy, as for protest, we will see a green flag. Yes, green flag coming up. We're seeing some sailors from Singapore really sailing with their mainsail very open. Why is that, Tom?
Take off.
So sometimes when light wind, you keep the mainsail a little bit more open in order to prevent the boom from falling in. It's also somewhat good when you try to sail about negative, but sailing negative is not common in the Optimist, but a lot more common in other boat classes. Now we have Singapore winning this downwind.
Yes, but now we have Italy in 2, 3 positions, so everything turning around extremely quickly.
Yeah, but this is an interesting situation. Normally, when you approach the mark here, it's often actually not even better to be clearly ahead of the opponents if you're
because you have to slow down boat too much.
Because that will give the first Singaporean boat a chance to hook one of the Italians. But we will see what happens here.
Looks like Italy is going to manage also a 4th place. And look how slow Italy 221 is at the moment with all the bad wind and just really trying to slow the boat. Situation comes and changes really, really quickly here.
Yeah, we have a big reversal here. We have Singapore now having to do something at the last mark. It's a very tight race. I think we will see Italy 275 trying to attack early. They're trying to go to, well, we will see what they actually try to do. I think the plan was to go 3 against 1, but they can't do that anymore because Singapore now has 2 sailors here in the fight. So we will probably see a mark attack instead.
Also, we're seeing 9849 trying to sail high away from the trouble. Just if his teammates manage to slow everyone enough, he could maybe cross in front. Great job. We're even seeing tags here. This is going to be an intense match. And let's go to the next match. 1 second. Just quickly see how it's going. We have Turkey versus USA here. These are the losers from the first round, right, Tom?
Yeah, we have got a green flag. We'll go back to the Italian match because we have a huge match.
Yes, very big match coming up here. We see even both stacking. Italy 9849 going for a penalty here. But as everybody is so close to each other, it's not that costly, right, Tom?
Yeah, we will see what happens here. I think also going for a penalty when it's chaos is really risky because the umpires are really busy looking at all the boats at the same time, so it's easy to miss small infringements. We are now seeing the Italian boats going down early on the last upwind, which is very good. It's better to attack early here instead of waiting till the finish when you're more stressed. We have Singapore in an advantageous position at the moment because Italy, they are the ones who need to do something, and if you're the one who needs to do something, you're often making the mistakes. We can see here that Italy 9849 is on the left side of the course. I'm going to come in here. The question here, will that boat be last? And then we also have to look at on the other side where we have another Italian boat being locked outside the other lane line. So we will see here if one of these boats can overtake one of the boats from the other side, and that will help Italy a lot.
Yes, we have trouble everywhere here. Trouble everywhere. Everything happening.
Is winning here big time on the right side. With the first and second.
We're seeing Singapore 1-1 asking for protest, asking for umpire decision.
That's the reason one Italy's going to win this because Italy fetched the line so they can just go starboard all the way to the finish, and there's nothing Singapore can do because they're on port or behind.
So it looks like a 1-2-3 for Italy. Italy advances now to the next round.
Yeah, interesting match. We now have Turkey against the USA. There's some action going on here on the downwind. USA attacks early. We will see if they try to lay a mark trap. Turkey 1775 trying to catch up to USA 400.
So let's see how this match turns around.
Yeah.
Two strong nations once again. As we're passing through the day, the matches just get stronger and harder. So it's going to be a tricky day. It's going to be a tricky day here.
Yeah, now we're approaching the mark trap. We have USA waiting with, now they have 3 top boats. So it's going to be really hard for Turkey to get back into this match. There is a boat missing here in this image. We don't really know where it is. So
Could they be in front?
if
Could they
it's
be in the back?
front, it means Team USA has a extremely strong position. We will see here we have
See Turkey 1775.
Turkish picture, so that means they're all in the back. So Team USA is in the lead for now. We also have Australia going up against Brazil, and that's a winners match.
Yes, and the winner of this will face Italy, which is the winner of Singapore versus Italy. And it's really starting to close down. We have few matches left. Less than 3 matches left to know the first finalist, if I'm not wrong. Obviously not the next 3, but the three more matches overall, and we are seeing the first finalist.
Yeah, and we'll walk you through the table a little bit later so you can see how it works. And for you that noticed this, the table looks a little bit different from the official IOTA tables, but that's because we sorted them differently. They are the exact same lineup. We have Team Australia taking the lead for now. It's very tight. Brazil is going strong in the middle. We will see how they do a little bit later, and go back to Turkey against the USA.
Anton, let's just remind ourselves now that Italy versus Singapore, there was an individual recall. So that could change the situation. We don't know if it's Italy or Singapore that had the sailor over the line. So that could really change the outcome, right?
Yeah, and it looks like Team USA is going strong here towards the finish. They have 3 boats here in front, and there's only one Turk to do something about it. There's in the middle there's going to be an important crossing. USA had to attack. That was really bad for the American team, because now it means that the Turkish boat 1122 can actually do something about the American boats. Also 1125 is catching up. They are both pumping very strongly. We'll see what the umpires do about it. USA is going to try to finish, but it's a risky move now.
We also have USA on the other hand.
Yeah, Turkey here, close to camera, has some problems. Oh, it looks like it's successful, and the American team, both on the left side, cannot finish. But
we see it.
There's gonna win.
3, 4, 5, 6 for Turkey.
We will see now if they're releasing the American boat just a little bit too early. Or are they?
Oh, protest there. We're seeing a protest. 1175 against 22684.
Yeah, there's a red flag up. We don't know who got the penalty.
Looks like USA 400 crossed here in front of Turkey.
Yeah, but there's still a red flag.
There's still a red flag. Okay, it's USA sailor taking red flag, but I think we could see US moving through, right?
Yeah, was USA 400 ahead of some of the Turks?
I believe it was ahead of one of the Turks.
Interesting. We will have to ask the race committee later.
4 matches here coming
We're
up.
going back to Australia against Brazil. They are just rounding the mark. It looks like Brazil is doing quite good for the moment, with Australia having 4 boats here in the back. So we have first, third position going for Brazil at the moment, and also 7th position, I think. Let's have a look at the next race as well.
Matches, and more matches. Here we have Argentina versus GBR. Loser of this match is game over. The other one survives to live another match. So let's see how this plays out. Let's see how it goes.
We have a red flag. I'm not even sure the umpire knows who's penalized anymore. At least the sailors don't know, because they changed in position really quickly. Here we have Argentina getting the penalty.
So that means 2 turns for Argentina there. Very costly, especially we're really close, and we're really close. So that would mean we're starting the race with 3 versus 4. That's never good, Tom?
No, it's of course a lot harder if you have less sailors in the top. We have GBR going strong on the left side, with 1 Argentinian sailor in the middle and 1 on the right side. So far, I would say this looks quite good for Team GBR, because Argentina now has 2 sailors in the back. But oh no, they got penalized. So now it's even again.
It's even. Sailors are just starting to knock off slowly. Let's see the other match we have going on at the same time. It's Australia versus Brazil. Winner comes through and will fight the winner of Italy versus Singapore. Still to be confirmed. We're waiting for the results of the finishing line due to the OCS over course side. So once we know, we'll know if it's the Australia or Brazil versus Italy or Singapore. Initially, looks like Italy won the match with a 1-3, but they could have an OCS, and that could change the situation quite a lot.
Yeah, indeed. And we can see Brazil just sailing on, not protecting the 3rd sailor, but they probably have some kind of plan to make it a little bit easier to finish with the 1st to 3rd position.
And are we seeing any other sailors? Was there anyone in front of the Brazilians here, or it's a 1-2-3 for them?
It's a 1-2-3 for the moment. So that means it's going very well for Team Brazil.
Let's just remind ourselves that Brazilian is leading the overall, right, Ton? It's Manuel Bragança. extremely fast sailor. They've all proven fast. I also remember Arthur Lamin doing good races, so we're seeing fast sailors here and doing what they're best at, which is being fast.
Yeah, they also came in on seed second, which means they have really strong individual sailors in the team. We're going to have a look at the other match where it looks like Argentina has caught up quite a lot. Argentina is actually quite much in the lead now with the first to third position, and it's for Team GBR to try and catch up. Could even be first to fourth position here, depending on what happens. But we have some action still, because it looks like the left boats are not going to be able to tack ahead of GBR 6659. But there's also an Argentinian boat that could wait and prevent the GBR boat to help. Here we have a very important crossing, the issues to dock, which is a good option. But there's another GBR boat 6680. So that boat got to hook the whole fleet. It needs to tack. So we just have complete chaos here. It looks like Argentina is still gonna be ahead, because I think Argentina 4011 and 4175 is gonna be ready to tack after the rounding here.
We're seeing everything happen here. We're seeing GBR sailor going for a dive.
Argentina can tack without getting penalized. Cannot. Argentina 4175 will probably get a penalty. Meanwhile, 4011 is passing the mark. GBR has some issues.
Are we seeing penalty here? Are we seeing penalties?
Yeah, I think
Looks like
a discussion.
A penalty to GBR. I think it's for touching the mark, right, Tom? That looked extremely close.
Yeah, I think the umpires, I don't know if they actually gave a penalty or a flag at all for other situation. I think they didn't see it.
So Argentina looking comfy right now, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it looks like GBR has some issues here with 4 out of the 5 bottom boats.
So some work to do right now.
Yeah.
And Argentina just have to try and sail fast. If they can sail fast and not get caught up, that would be good enough.
Indeed. So this match will probably go to Argentina, so we will try to look a little bit at the results. Pablo, are we ready to bring up the results?
Yes, we will bring them up in a second.
Meanwhile, we have GBR 6659 trying to catch up to Argentina 4011. And that battle is going to decide the whole match. And if he can't catch up before this mark, it's going to be much harder to catch up later.
So here we have the winners bracket. We have at the moment Greece and Spain coming up soon, and either Italy or Brazil fighting each other. We're still waiting for confirmation on the overall standings and of the OCS in Italy-Singapore match. But if that would be the case, that Italy did win, this will be what we see. From there, we will see the winner of Greece versus Spain fight the winner of Italy versus Brazil. And next up, we have the losers bracket. These are the teams that have lost one match in the first pairings, and they go fight each other. At the moment, we would have Denmark versus Sweden, the winner of race 12, which we have not still got confirmation of, versus Puerto Rico, USA versus Australia, and the winner of race 16, which we are watching right now, against Singapore. So if Argentina wins, it would be Argentina-Singapore. If GBR wins, it would be GBR versus Singapore.
Perfect. Let's go back to the action, where we have Argentina still in the lead with the first to third boat. GBR couldn't catch up to the downwind mark, and as I said before, it's going to be really hard to catch up now on the last upwind. But the good thing is there are now 3 boats instead of 1 boat, so there is some chance to make a split.
Yes.
That means you send boats to all directions in order to hope for some different pressures.
Yes, make the teammate, make Argentina decide, get Argentina nervous, just get some passing positions. And that's what GBR is trying to do. We see GBR really opening to the left side of the course, on the right side of the course. They just want to make Argentina nervous, make Argentina attack, and finding some passing chances.
Looks like Argentina will be able to finish this. These boats are passing ahead of GBR 6681. And because of that, I doubt there's any chance for Team GBR to change this result.
Next up, we're having here a match of titans. I believe Greece versus Spain. Yes, the winner here will be very, very close to being a finalist, right?
Yeah, well, in this match at least, it looks like Team Spain has a slight advantage, but Greece still has enough gold to make this very interesting.
Both super strong nations, both in individual and team racing. So let's see how it plays off for them. Looks like one Spanish boat just went ahead, right, Tom?
Yeah, we will see what that means. And also now Spain has second and third position. So that's a huge advantage for the Spanish team.
Great job there by Marta, really fending off those three Greeks. And now it's Spain fifth overall. If she can manage to just keep the Greeks in the back, space up the fleet, I think the two teammates could take care and just either win the race with a 1-2-3 or just fend off Greece 10-28.
Yeah, it looks like Spain will just try to continue sailing, and we will see if there will be some further action in this race.
Yes. We have here the next start of Denmark versus Sweden. This is the losers bracket. Let's just remind ourselves, Sweden lost against Spain and Denmark lost against Portugal, against Puerto Rico, sorry, in the first round. Denmark still fighting to survive. Winner here goes through. Loser is out for the day, and it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a really, really, really tight one.
Yeah, and these two teams also are rivals with each other, so I think neither of them wants to lose this match.
Norwegian battle coming up, right?
Yeah, we have Team Sweden taking first and second, and maybe also third position at the moment, going really strong in the pairs, leading all pairs for the moment. Meanwhile, we have some Danish boats opening on the right who might get something, but given the wind situation, it looks like the pressure is quite even.
So we have some unofficial new results coming in. It's that Italy did OCS, so that means Italy goes into the losers bracket, and we will see Singapore going into the winners bracket against Brazil, right, Tom?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We will see soon the last match of the winners bracket. But let's look at the other race. We have Greece now fighting Spain, and it looks like this could be the bottom of the fleet.
Yes, this is the back, the fleet.
Trying to just hold up as many as possible. So there should be a Greek boat in the front trying to catch up.
The fleet really, really stretched out. Let's just remind ourselves that Marta managed to really stretch out the fleet, slow down those three Greek boats, and now it's a 1-2-3 for Spain. They just need to rush to the finish line.
Yeah, and it's a 3 against 1. It's going to be extremely hard for Greece to do something. You can see Spain lining up perfectly, ready to take over if something happens.
Poor Greek guy, he's going to get crushed there. 3 versus 1, never a nice situation, but Spain doing really good there.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have Denmark and Sweden approaching the mark. We can see that Sweden is still in the lead. There's some trouble here deciding where to go, so you're not in each other's way. But for now, it looks like they're going to round top 3, but it's not by a huge margin. So we will see if Denmark can make some good tacks here at the end and catch up to one of the Swedish boats.
Loser of this match, let's remind ourselves, goes home, so it's a win or die situation. They really need to put everything set to their best, because if they don't win this match, it's game over.
Yeah, now Denmark 87-69 is actually catching up to Sweden 49-40. That's really good for Denmark. That's their only chance, and is a quite a good chance actually, because 49-42 from Sweden is in 8th position. But somehow they lost that. So it looks like Sweden is now going to manage to round. They have.
Let's just remind ourselves that Sweden 5-4-9-3-9 needs to do this crossing. Look like he's ahead. He's way over Leyland, just making everything, just spreading everything out a bit. And looks like Sweden is going to be 1-2-3.
Yeah, and Sweden had 49-22 on the right side ready to do something in case the other boats couldn't properly cross.
We're close to start in the next fleet. Let's see how it looks. Looks like Sweden is comfy here. They're going to survive one more match. So let's see how the next start is. We have here Puerto Rico versus New Zealand. Puerto Rico versus New Zealand. This is the winners. Where is this?
We will check this, and meanwhile we'll look at the Denmark, Sweden.
This is the losers bracket. We have Slovenia against New Zealand, and New Zealand managed to win. So it's New Zealand versus Puerto Rico. This is race 19 of the day.
We can see Sweden still in the lead, having a little bit of a gap, but it's very risky now when you have, one boat in the back, super far behind. And we can see that Sweden actually got a penalty there. So it's already happening that Denmark is catching up.
Denmark not giving up.
No, and nor should they, because this match is far from over. We can see Sweden for the 922 having some trouble continuing down, and it's gonna be trouble now.
And we're missing one Swede, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Whereas 4939.
Yeah, we have a
Way
Swede
ahead,
going to the
okay.
mark. We will probably see a double mark trap, trying to pick one Dane each, but Denmark will for sure be ready for this action.
And what do we do when the fleet is so far apart? Do we wait inside the zone already, or just let everything?
It actually has to
happen
do with
closer?
how much time you need to wait there, but it looks like Sweden's gonna send only one boat for the mark trap and the second boat for the reach attack. But we will see what's gonna happen now. Sweden's Alexander Forsen is a master of blocking many boats, and yeah, it's already done.
We see him
That was
did it
really
before,
fast.
and we see him doing it a great job by Alexander. Managed to fend off the rivals. Now he can slow them down, give a bit of breathing space to his teammates, and we could see them seal the deal and survive.
Yeah, but this is far from over. Denmark still has 3 boats trying to catch 49-39.
We can see the match is starting to get very close to each other. We see New Zealand and Puerto Rico sailors way above ley line, right, Tom?
Yeah, and we're gonna go back to the Swedish match. Something is happening here.
Let's go watch the Puerto Rico versus New Zealand. We're here in the losers bracket. Puerto Rico lost against Greece and got sent to the losers bracket. New Zealand lost against Spain and got sent to the losers bracket, but New Zealand managed to win against Slovenia once in the losers bracket, and that's what we're seeing here. New Zealand versus Puerto Rico, race 19 of the day.
Yeah, and it's looking very good for Team Puerto Rico. They have the first 3 positions. There's still some way to go, and it looks like the New Zealand boat on the right side has the best opportunity to help out. We cannot say for sure what's going to happen. We have Puerto Rico 99 trying to cross, but it's forced attack. This is going to be a very dangerous position for Puerto Rico, because now they have 3 boats on the left side with just a little bit of wind or a little bit of speed. Team New Zealand can easily block all of them.
It looks like the wind is ripping a bit, right, Tom? We see the boats going a bit slower, boats bouncing a bit more with the chop.
Yeah, and we can see that Team Puerto Rico is still quite comfortable in the lead.
Let's switch quickly to the Sweden versus Denmark, see the finishing line approach. Looks like the Swedes are looking strong. Let's see what Alexander does. Will he let his teammate through? Will he tack on top of Denmark? He's tacking now. So he needs to get...
Looks very good for Sweden at the moment. It's
Yes.
only 49-22 who needs to cross here, but it looks like there's enough space. 49-40 really needs to... Oh, they were lucky that the Danish were attacked there. Could have been very, very dangerous. But it looks like Sweden's going to take this.
Congrats, Sweden, surviving one more race.
Yeah, and with that, Sweden will move on to the next match in the losers bracket. There's actually one more tack, but Denmark tacked, so now here we have a clear finish. We're going back to the other match. We have Puerto Rico still leading quite strongly, and also there's a 4th Puerto Rican boat in 6th position.
We will see Sweden facing off the loser of Singapore versus Brazil. So it's going to be for sure another tight match.
Yeah, and we will bring you the action of the next match, which will be... We have some transmission problems, but as soon as we get it sorted, we will report back to you. It looks like it's going to be the final match of the winners bracket. I think it's Portorož, Spain here.
So we're gonna see, is it Spain versus Brazil or Spain versus Singapore?
It's Brazil versus Singapore.
Okay, so who will see win here?
Losers match then?
This is the second side of the winners bracket. The winner faces Spain, and that will be our first finalist of the day. Everything going very, very quick today, and we're gonna see as the day goes on higher and higher quality matches.
Yeah, and we can see that Singapore is taking the lead, but this match is very spread out. But it looks like Spain has some issues here in the back, so Singapore has quite a comfortable lead, but so early. So we will see what happens. We can also see in the other match that they're running the downwind mark with a huge margin, so that match is as good as done.
Let's remind ourselves that these sailors are getting, as with the day goes on, higher and higher quality. They're really good, really trained together lots, and we're going to see very tight matches. Let's just remind ourselves that Brazilian sailors are extremely fast, but we've seen also that Singapore sailors sailing great tactics and against Italy and other teams. So let's see how it plays off.
Yeah, and I might have gotten Spain mixed up when I commented before. But anyway, we now have Singapore going quite strong here on the left side, but Brazil is in the lead with the 3 boats in the top 4, which is a very nice position. But Singapore still has boat number 1.
Boat number 1 can cause chaos at the top mark.
Yeah. We will see now the Singaporean boats trying to go a little bit further into the middle, hoping to get something and be able to lock the Brazilian boats on the left side.
Singapore 142 going attack on top of Brazil 4368. Another attack. We're seeing at the top of the screen looks like a Brazilian sailor in first position.
Yeah, and we can see that Brazil will probably be first to the mark, ready here to lay the mark trap. Doesn't look like they're actually going for it. They probably go for just sailing and sort it out later because it's very chaotic at the moment. Can Singapore pass first? Yes.
Singapore looks like he's gonna pass. Will Brazil stop here? Will he let? They have 2-3-4, which is a good position. So let's see what they do. Brazil 4-3-6-8 coming here on starboard, forcing Singapore 1-1 to bear away. Will he make it into the mark? He's going for attack, just fending off the rivals. Singapore 1-6-4 rounding. Great job there by Singapore 1-1, just making a bit of breathing space. And looks like there will be one more Singapore and one more Brazilian in the back, right?
Yeah, and this match can go either way. And I think both teams know that it's in equal position, so they will just try and fight in small perspective, trying to do what they can. There will be no overall team strategy for a while, but we will for sure have a massive downwind rounding later.
It's going to be a big match here. It's going to be a really big match.
Two boats on starboard is also interesting. Let's see what's happening. We can see that Singapore was successful here. Now they have 3 boats in the top 4 again, and they have knocked the Brazilians out of the race in the back. Still, there's a single Brazilian boat that will be easily the first to the downwind mark and able to lay a mark trap. Problem is now 3 Brazilians against 1 from Singapore. Sorry, the opposite.
Home point updated.
We can see that Brazil is doing what they can. We have a jibe duel here. We have both jibed with overlap. It means Brazil can now sail without proper course. Starboard takes precedence here. So if you have some port boats, they need to keep clear. And that's why you see all of them jibing. We have Brazil waiting at the mark, letting 1 pass, and now here comes the attack. It's very interesting. And it's probably going to be a penalty on Brazil, the inner boats. If you duck another boat, you need to give room to whoever is in between you and the boat that you ducked. So we will see if we get a flag here. Meanwhile,
we're seeing the race. Oh yeah, umpires bring red flag up.
And we're going to see who's going to get penalized. Meanwhile, Singapore is going quite strong. It was Brazil that got a penalty, so Singapore is now in a very strong position. Still, there are two Singaporean boats in the back that needs, or at least one of them needs to pass, and it looks like they're not going to do that. So we will see an even position again going into the final.
Yes, let's just remind ourselves that right now Brazilian boat is taking turns, so that's gonna give him a bit of catching space to do. But looks like he's back in the screen again. He just did the penalty, and with all the chaos, he managed to catch up.
Yeah, and you really need some good boat control in order not to accidentally hit each other when you do this.
You're speaking about centimeters here. It's really close. Let's see what happens.
Looks good for
Complete
Singapore.
chaos.
It's a good rounding from Singapore here. They're gonna crash. It looks like, at least for sure, there was some kind of collision.
Protest coming up from Singapore and Brazil.
That penalty could probably go either way.
Red flag is ready. Let's see who's gonna be taking turns.
If it's Brazil, it's gonna be really hard for us.
And it's Singapore.
We now have a completely even match with Brazil with the 4 middle boats.
So that will put Singapore into losing position right now. So let's see if they can manage to turn it around.
We're moving to the other match, which is Australia against Team USA in the losers bracket. We can see that USA is going strong on the right side, having probably won the start. And we can see that they're also winning on the left side.
So good match. Let's switch back to the other match. It was very interesting. About to finish. It's gonna be a tight one here. We can see sailors already approaching the finishing line. Let's just remind ourselves that the winner here faces the winner of Greece versus Spain, which was Spain. So let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, well, Brazil coming in first and third. So that's a very strong position. Let's see. Then we have Singapore winning the third pair. Singapore. Okay, so that means Singapore
wins.
Strong here. Yeah, so Singapore has taken this.
Great job by Singapore there. Moves to the next match, and it will be Singapore versus Spain coming up.
We're going back to the USA against Australia match. We can see Team USA doing some great maneuvers here in the middle. Just squeezing the top 3 boats slightly ahead of the best Australian boats. We will see here, because they still need to make this tack, but if that boat in the back takes attack, and the rest can then call for a make attack, but they didn't. That means the USA boat 22684 is now locked outside on the right ley line. That's a bit dangerous for Team USA. But we'll see what they do here. They're gonna wait and try to help, but it doesn't look like it's gonna work. So they'll probably have to just sail.
Let's just remind ourselves where they came from. Australia came from beating Argentina and losing against Brazil, which put them into this position. And from here, USA came from losing against Turkey, losing against Italy in the first match. No, losing against Singapore, sorry, and then managing to beat Turkey. And this is where we have now USA versus Australia. Winner will pass, loser is out.
Yeah, and looks like USA has a slight lead in this match, but still fighting strong from Team Australia. We're gonna check the start of the next race, which is Argentina against Italy in the losers bracket. So they just recently lost Team Italy, and now they have one more life here in the losers bracket. So the winners bracket is getting smaller all the time, and all the teams are basically sailing in the losers bracket by now. And from the losers bracket, one team will go to the final. And also one team from the losers bracket will take bronze. Let's see, we are closing into the start. We have Italy trying to win the pin, but Argentina has the better position, so Argentina is probably going to take it. Could be that we're going to have some OCSs in this race. Looks like they're really close to the line. They're probably going to push it very early, given the situation. We have 2 Argentinian boats really high. and it looks like it was a clear start. So that's great for Team Argentina, but they hit the mark, so they need to spin. And with that spin, it looks like we have an even match. Argentina still going strong on the left, but on the right side, Team Italy is slightly stronger. We go back to Australia against the US, and we can see that the situation has worsened for Team Australia with 4 out of 5 bottom boats. And we have the third American boat being hunted down by Australia 1906. But probably there will be other Americans waiting at the mark, so keep looking at 394, and the action will be around these boats. They are approaching the mark, only a few meters left. Here we can see the second American boat, and there should be one more here in the front. And they're not laying a mark trap. They are probably gonna try and do something on the upwind to make it safer for 394. But 394 already lost one boat, and there's gonna be something going on here. Question is, did Australia have mark room or not? We will see what the umpires think. If it's the American boat that gets a penalty, this is all open. If it was Australia that got a penalty, which means it's 3 against 1 here in the top. Team Australia really has to gamble all on 1847, who's tacking into the middle and being followed by not the third boat, but the second boat, which is a very good strategy to not send the bottom boat, but to send one of the better boats.
Gives them a bit of breathing space, and you can still control that boat, right?
Exactly, and also there's an opportunity for the third boat to focus on speed, and you can see now that the third boat is actually going to overtake the second boat, proving my point. So it looks anyway that Team USA will finish first to third, and
That moves them on.
yeah, there was no penalty in the start or no OCS, so Team USA will move forward in the losers bracket. We go and check Italy against Argentina, and that was a very close match. Looks like Italy has a slight advantage, that's very small. We'll see what kind of mark attack they're going to do. Doesn't look like there's some kind of trap. There will be a split, so there's not so much you can do. Yeah. No, it's I was wrong. I thought it was the second reach. It's actually the first. We can see that looks like Argentina will just go for it and try to lay the mark trap on the bottom mark. Meanwhile, the rest have divided into pairs, doing what they can. Argentina 4-11 and Italy 2-1 are really close to each other, and there will for sure be something happening there a little bit later when Italy has to attack. Jive. We can see that the rest of the boats are just trying to be as fast as possible, not really challenging each other anymore. There's another race going on. We will check which teams that is. It's going to be Spain against Singapore, and that's, I think, is the final winners bracket match.
Yes.
Whoever wins here will go to the final and secure a silver medal at worst, and the loser will go to the losers bracket with 2 more matches to go before they can say that they're back into the final.
They can still manage to win gold. Let's just remind ourselves that any of these 2 teams can still manage to win gold. Just means they'll have to go through a bigger process and have to win a few more matches, while the other one have for sure silver. They'll be very happy about it.
Yeah, and actually every team that we see can win gold here. So just because you're in the losers bracket doesn't mean anything except that you have no more lifeline. So we are now seeing Argentina going for the final mark, trying to be first and lay a mark trap. Italy, they wait instead and try to do what they can on the reach. 2 different strategies. We'll see which one wins in the end. But we can see Italy trying to attack early.
Argentina here just waiting in the mark, probably trying to set up a mark trap. Let's see what Italy 275 does.
Yeah, there's an attack now from Argentina, but it's really hard because there's so many Italians coming in. Everyone is also coming in at the same time with complete chaos.
It is going to be a tight one.
Yeah, and it looks like Italy is going to fend this off quite well, with Argentina in a better position, but not a completely winning position. Argentina attacking now. That boat's going to be extremely hunted down. A little bit later, we will see Italy 275 priming. Here comes the attack.
Attack on top. Will we see attack on top?
Yeah.
Yes, we're seeing attack here.
And there will be probably 2 Italians. No, that other Italian went down. That was a risky move because now Italy 275 will be doubled instead. It's too hard to tell who's going to win here, Pablo. It's very interesting.
It's very, very, very tight.
We have a great situation between 275 and
4-1-2. It's Argentina 4-1-2-2. Really slowing down the boat. Look how the boom is touching. Just gets really slow to make sure he can attack if needed. But let's see what we see here.
Yeah, and the problem is you also have to look at what's going on.
And you have to accelerate the boat. Also, too much stuff to think about. Let's see what Argentina does. Will he go in?
Going to secure the win here with the first boat. Italy has 3 more boats, so that's a huge advantage at the moment.
Italy coming in strong now.
If Italy can finish with that last 117, it looks like it's going to be over.
So it looks like Italy survived, right?
Yeah.
Italy manages
the last 2 goals. Italy has survived and Argentina is knocked out. Meanwhile, we're going to look at the final match in the winners bracket, where Spain has now started the race against Singapore.
Singapore versus Spain. Very, very big match coming up. Let's just remind ourselves that the winner of this regatta will go straight into at least silver medal. So lots of races still left, but it will for sure be there will for sure be a happy team. Those that make it to the final, the silver medal at Worlds before the age of 15, for sure a big, big, big result.
And look at Spain is going strong here with the top 3 boats. Spain is really good at attacking early, taking control and killing a match. There are no chaos situations with Spain unless they are really in a pressured situation. And now it looks like they have the top 4 boats even.
Let's just remind ourselves that being fast is always good, makes your life easier.
Yeah, you can see Singapore 142, which would be the hope of Singapore at this time. It looks like we have some left pressure there, so I think that boat can't do anything. So we will almost certainly see Spain in the top 3 or maybe even top 4 positions.
So if they could do that, they'll be happy, right?
But I think there was a mistake there. They should have let their teammate go around the mark because now Singapore can come in back into the race. It's very tight. So
it's very tight.
Only has to catch 2 boats, and it's 5 meters only this time to the second boat in Spain. Some great action. They already caught up to 1, but now Spain's going to do the famous strategy where they try to block the bottom, and we can already see the distance increasing. So we're going to for sure sacrifice Spain 36.96 in order to give some room to the top three Spanish boats.
Great job by Spain there. Looks like they're going to be making their way to a silver medal at least, so they're going to be very happy about it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I would say this is far from over because we've seen Singapore sail so good in the previous races.
Yes.
I don't think we should count them out yet, even though it's looking really hard, and by each second it looks harder. Spain is really doing what they should be doing, trying to widen the margin. We have some pressure coming in from behind. That's good for Singapore. Two boats are now going for speed, trying to catch up, but maybe 50 meters now. It's going to be really hard to catch up with 15 meters on a reach, especially when the reach is like 30 seconds. So we will see now what happens. There's some kind of shift.
So Spain 3581, Spain 3570, and Spain 3660 just need to sail fast, right?
Correct. So we can see Spain still going strong with the strategy of blocking, but that always costs some positions. So now we can see Spain in 7 positions. There's only one boat left to block, but it has been successful so far, even though now the distance has shrunk to only 5 meters. But we also know that Team Spain is great in team racing, so they will for sure cover 3660 and do everything they can to help that boat survive the last few meters on the last upwind. We can see that help is coming already. Didn't take more than 5 seconds. Singapore 142 needs to be really fast, but it's extremely hard. Do now 2 tacks extra, which means that boat won't catch up. But there could be another Singaporean boat who is catching up on the right side behind the camera. We see 3 of them. So none of them are in the barrel, but there could be one behind the camera still. But it's looking very, very good for Team Spain now. They probably have the lead on all sides.
So Spain looking like it's at least a silver medal this week.
To the finish, Spain has the first position. Unless Singapore has a magical boat here coming in on the starboard ley line, it's going to be Spain that will win. And Spain will have secured a silver medal in this World Championship.
Hats off to Spain. Vamos España.
So congratulations to Spain, but Team Singapore can still come back in the losers bracket.
Singapore now maybe face Italy again. It's maybe going to be a rematch, as we will see Italy versus Sweden, the winner going through, and they will be matching Singapore. So we will see what happens. Now, next up, looks like we have
is Greece. So we'll see what matchup is that. Maybe it could be Greece against one of the teams that we've already seen lose today. So we will see which team that is.
Could be Greece, USA, maybe. We will see it now as soon as they come into screen.
Also, there's a match going on. We're going to look at that.
We have here Brazil versus Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that might be one of the opponents that we're waiting for in order to finalize the matchup.
Yes, that could be it. And let's see how it's looking at the moment.
It looks like Brazil is in command for now, but it's really tight. Brazil will be first to the downwind mark, which is the easiest mark to attack from. And we can see that Puerto Rico really tries to catch up to some of the Brazilian boats to prevent them from having 2 boats at the downwind mark, which is a lot better than just having 1.
So the fleet has split out into 2. We have 4 boats in front, 4 in the back, 2 versus 2 in both sides. So we could see this race decided by the 7 and 8, right?
Yeah, now here we have a starboard port situation. We'll see if there's a penalty or not. Brazil 4380 was on starboard for a moment before Puerto Rico 99 realized what was happening. There's a green flag. The umpires think that there wasn't enough time to react. We have the boats approaching the downwind mark.
Let's go a second to see the other match. We have, yes, USA versus Greece lining up. Less than 1 minute to start.
We're going to go back to the Brazilian match because here the action is happening.
Yes, and the winner of these 2 matches will face each other. So Brazil and Puerto Rico, the winner of here will see the winner of Greece versus USA. So it's going to be tight. It is going to be really tight.
Yeah, and we will see if any of these boats will turn around on the beach or if they will go for the mark gap. There's not much happening at the downwind mark anymore. The boats came in quite spread out.
And great conditions today for team racing, right?
Yeah, and it looked actually like Brazil did a nice maneuver when I had already teamed it over. So Brazil has now 1 Puerto Rican boat in the back, which is very advantageous for the strategy that they are trying to pull off. We're going to look here in the start. That's already happened. Looks like Team USA is going out strong. And this is an elimination match. So here, whoever is winning is going to proceed to 1 final match in the losers bracket, and the loser is going to go home. Team USA leading all sides at the moment. Only there is some trouble in the middle, but otherwise it looks very strong for American team. We're heading back to Brazil against Puerto Rico, and we can see that Puerto Rico has a small advantage, but now it's truly chaos because I don't think anyone knows who's leading anymore because it's changing all the time. So we have on the left side we have 2 against 1. On the right side we have 2 1 against 1s. Looks like on the left side Puerto Rico is going to win, but also the finish is coming up. So I would still say that it's a little bit better for Puerto Rico. Let's see this cross here on the left side, and it looks like it's a clear cross. That's extremely good for Puerto Rico, who now has
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, has 1, 2, 3, but there are some boats on the right side who are probably ahead of the boats on the left.
Puerto Rico here asking for protest. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, probably
Lifting the red flag.
Probably it's the Puerto Rican boat that's going to get the penalty because it went down. So if you yourself go down, then the other boats can hit you.
So this could be decided in a finishing line.
What happens here? So Puerto Rico 1, 2, is there a penalty or not?
I think it was green flag there.
Oh, there was. Then it means Puerto Rico has won. And green flag could mean that umpires don't want to penalize anyone or that they didn't see the situation. We are back to USA against Greece. First up in March. Looks like Greece has caught up. And that's why we have a chaos situation. We can see that the American team is just trying to do what it can to create a lot of chaos. But it doesn't look like it's paying off. It's the Greek guys that are coming off the blob first. We have 3 American boats here in the back. It's going to be very, very interesting. Meanwhile, we have a new match starting. We're going to have a look at which match that is. It's Sweden against Italy, and it's an elimination match as well. So whoever is winning is going to proceed to a final match, the losers bracket, and whoever is losing here is going to be eliminated. But there's still some minutes to, or a minute to go, so we're going to go back to the action in the Greek match. And here we have a really tight situation. Rounding the mark now on the reach. We can see American boat trying to block as much as possible, but doesn't look like it's paying off. We can also see that the rest of them are probably too unsure of the situation, and they just try to go for speed. We have only a few seconds to the start in the Sweden against Italy match. We have Sweden for the 922 gonna win at the pin, given that he fetches the line, and he does. We have a clear start in the middle for Sweden for 940, and also for the 936 is going strong.
Clear start at the end.
Yeah.
No individual recall, so that's a good change for Italy.
So Sweden won the left side, but Italy won the right side. So it's basically very even. But the good thing for Sweden is that Sweden's left side seems to be a little bit better than Italy's right side at the moment. We have some action on the left side here. And it looks like the situation is stabilizing a bit. We have some right pressure, which means Italy caught up. We're going to go back to the other match because USA and Greece are now approaching the finish line, and maybe we have to do a drone battery change here, so sadly we cannot show you the finish. So we go back to USA against well, I have the match here, USA against Greece. It was the other drone that was going back. So it looks like we have a pretty strong situation here for Team USA. They have 3 boats in the top, which is a winning combination, but it's also extremely hard now to keep that when you have a Greek boat 3184 right behind you. And the top boat from Greece is waiting now. We will see what's happening when that boat goes down to help out. It's not so easy to pick which one to attack. And if you pick one, you will probably lose the other one. So you might not want to do that until you're sure that it's necessary. Just keeping it cool in the middle, it's a great move. But now you have to read the situation. Is your team winning? And now it's almost too late to actually do something. So either it's finishing or you will do some panic attack at the end. But now it's clear that something needs to be done. It's very interesting here. If the Greek boat is finishing ahead of USA here at the boat, which I think is going to mean that Greece is winning. I think Greece won this because they will have 17 points and the US team will have 19 points. We will now go back to the other match, Sweden against Italy. Looks like Italy is in the lead here with the top 3 boats. That's a very good situation for them. But there is one Swedish boat trying to catch up, doing what he can, and it's Alexander Forsén from Sweden, who is the top team racer in Sweden at the moment. But he's also alone against 3 Italian boats. We can see Alexander here picking a single boat to attack instead of focusing on all, which is the right strategy. The other Greek boats are going to the mark. It's really hard to protect teammates on the downwind, so it's often better to just go straight to the mark and lay a mark trap. We can see there's going to be some action later. They're close enough so that when we have the jibe going into the mark, there's a possibility for Alexander to shortcut a little bit and then completely catch up. So there's a high likelihood that the Swedish sailor will catch up, but the other two Italians will for sure create trouble a little bit later on. And there comes the jibe, and Alexander didn't need to shorten because he was already catching up. We see Italy trying to break overlap, but it was of no use because Alexander gained too much, and now we have the Italian mark trap. Alexander will have to fight the boat from behind and also try to pass the mark trap, but he will not try. Probably he will just focus on the boat behind him, which is something we have practiced a lot in Sweden. I haven't personally coached Alexander this year, but this is something we practiced previous years. And we can see that he is attacking backwards, which is a great move because now Italy can't do anything and they will force to continue. And there are now 3 Swedes in the fight, and Italy is still leading by 2 points, but because Sweden now has 3 boats, it's easier for them to block the third Italian boat, which hasn't rounded the market. And here comes the bottom 2 boats. Italy is in the lead. That's helping a lot. It's going to make it a little bit more complicated for Sweden. Also, Italy has the 2 first boats to the last mark, which is a huge advantage. We can see 49-22 Ernst Åkesson, who is also an experienced team racer, and he's going for the reach attack, which is also a Swedish specialty. Instead of waiting for the mark trap, they attack, and now they're going to do the combined attack. So now Alexander is coming, and then Ernst will come back when Alexander has played out himself, and now they're going to rotate with attack for a while, but we will see how it's going in the top also, because Didrik Dahlberg 49-40 is trying to pass Italy, but we can see Italy doing a great job. Didrik is not going anywhere. Meanwhile, Ernst and Alexander 49-39 and 49-22 are holding up their end of the deal in the middle. In the back, we have 49-36 trying to go to the mark, but Italy is doing a good job. We're approaching the critical point here. If there will be some kind of penalty, otherwise, I think Sweden will have to concede the fight for now and do the final attack on the last upwind. Here comes the final attack. We're going to see if there can be some kind of a split here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Oh, now there's a chance. Sweden has the Italian boat on the outer side and also right away and also right to left. Here we go, and it actually happened. It looks like Sweden has made it. We can see that Italy has the bottom 2 boats, so that puts a lot of pressure in the beginning at the early part of the race, where Italy has first and second, and now they have to decide what to do. Maybe the Italians can somehow pass, or the Italians will have to go back in the front and help out. But now Italy has all the pressure because it's a panic attack when you have a change this late, and it looks like Ernst in the front 49-22 even passed one Italian boat, so Italy is now going to go for a final attack. There's going to be a huge attack now from Italy on the right side and on the left side, but Sweden has everything going for it because it's chaos and the space is quite big. We have Italy 275 attacking Sweden 4939. Meanwhile, Sweden is finishing with the top 2. And it looks like Sweden is going to take this match because there are no more Italian boats to stop 49-36, and there was also a penalty on Italy. So that means Sweden's going to proceed to the final race in the losers bracket, and Italy has been knocked out. We are going to watch. It's the same race. I thought it was another race, but there is no more race going on, so we are waiting for the final matches in the losers bracket. We will see if there are any protests going on here, but it looks like there isn't. Italy is upset. We will take a little break and be right back with you.
This is my boat from Facenda. I'm Team Facenda. I've been using Facenda for the pre-worlds and the regatta before. It's a really good boat. I feel like really fast. I feel like I can pass their ways really good. My tacks, I feel them faster. And today on the team racing, I feel like really fast. So I help my team a lot.
Hello, this is Dick from Winner. We are here in Portorož. We have 75 charter boats here, and we're serving the rest of the fleet as well. Nice to see you.
Hello from Portorož, from the World Championship venue 2025. We are here with our beautiful venue. We expect medium light wind, but can be everything here. So the kids are ready. I see many sailors come earlier here. We are here from one sail to support them, and we will do our best for them. If they need advices, they know where we are, and we will help everybody.
Inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, no, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate. This is how legends are made.
This is my boat from Facenda. I'm Team Facenda. I've been using Facenda for the pre-worlds and the regatta before. It's a really good boat. I feel like really fast. I feel like I can pass their ways really good. My tacks, I feel them faster. And today on the team racing, I feel like really fast. So I help my team a lot.
Hello, this is Dick from Winner. We are here in Portorož. We have 75 charter boats here, and we're serving the rest of the fleet as well. Nice to see you.
Hello from Portorož, from the World Championship venue 2025. We are here with our beautiful venue. We expect medium light wind, but can be everything here. So the kids are ready. I see many sailors come earlier here. We are here from one sail to support them, and we will do our best for them. If they need advices, they know where we are, and we will help everybody.
We have here USA versus Puerto Rico coming up. We're starting to close down the panel, the losers panel and the winners panel. The winner of here will go against the winner of Sweden versus Singapore, and we're really starting to close everything down now. Let's just remind ourselves, USA just won against Greece, so that's why we're having this matchup, and Puerto Rico won against Brazil. So we're starting to close down and slowly getting to the top last boats. So let's see how it ends looking. So we're starting to approach the last minute. We're here in the last minute. We have the US sailors 2 in the pin end, and we have also another sailor in the committee end. This gives them big chances to controlling the fleet. We can see that the gun has just gone off. We have USA 394 and USA 400 in the pin end, followed by Puerto Rico 100 and 103 following. USA 22665 next up. And then we have Puerto Rico 99, and we have on ports few boats already. We see Puerto Rico very far out. We don't see his number, but he's already very far out into the right side. And the tension is building. The teams are getting stronger, and mistakes are becoming every time more and more expensive. Let's see what happens next. US sailor, USA 400 just tacking there, bearing away some sailors. Going in for attack as he got slam dunked by Puerto Rico. And this is going to be a really tight match. Puerto Rico just hailing protest flag. Umpire disagrees with him, raises green flag. There was no issue there. USA 394 attacking. Will he bear away? No, he's heading up. Fast head up. Slowing down the boat. Really working there. The boat there. USA 394. And we're starting to come with few boats ahead. What will happen? USA 394 going for attack, also Puerto Rico, and this is a tight one, we can tell you. 3 sailors of USA in the left side, which is the bottom side of our screens at the moment, and the other 3 Puerto Rico and 2 other Puerto Rico sailors on the right hand end. Lots of tack, lots going on here. It's very important to keep the boat going fast. If we slow the boat too much, it could be very costly. And so we're just seeing the sailors, even though they're tacking frequently, just trying to sail at top speed. They have to be good sailors individually. We have Ton now with us here. Hi, Ton.
Hello. So this is an interesting matchup. It's a little bit all or nothing here. If you win this match, you're gonna be in a bronze medal position at the worst. So you really want to win this. We have USA going strong from both sides. Some action in the middle. We can see that Puerto Rico is trying to squeeze out USA 400. Meanwhile, on the right side, we can see USA taking the inner lane, which means they're gonna control the mark rounding. That's a good advantage, but the problem is there aren't any American sailors nearby. So we will see if they will have to abandon the mark and just attack a little bit later.
Let's just remind ourselves the 5 remaining teams are Spain, that is already in the final, silver medal assured. And then next up we have Singapore, Sweden, Puerto Rico, and USA. These 2 matches will be running now, and they will decide who goes into the next round.
Yeah, and we will show you a quick overlay graphics of that soon. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the next race, where we have Singapore and Sweden lining up for start. So here comes the graphics, so it's a little bit easier to visualize.
We have the 4 remaining teams in this losers bracket. We have Singapore, Sweden, Puerto Rico, and USA. They have come a really long way. All of these teams have lost sooner or later a match before, and this is their second chance to just survive and go into those bronze and silver medal positions that we're speaking about.
Exactly. So this is like a bronze match because if you win, you get bronze at the worst. We're going back to the race between USA and Puerto Rico, where we can see Team USA holding the lead, but Puerto Rico coming in strong with 3 boats. So it's far from over. There's still some way to go and not much action. So we're going to have a look at the Swedish match where Sweden is starting against
Looks like
Singapore.
Sweden already has a sailor really in the back. We don't know what happened there, but he has some catching up to do already, and that's a tough one coming up.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be has been a penalty here, but still we have Sweden winning on the right side for the moment and Singapore winning on the left. Quite even match, I would say. No team has proper advantage. We're gonna have a look at the American laying the mark trap here in the other race. They're going in first here against Puerto Rico.
Big match for them coming up against the reigning bronze medal finalists from last year, Puerto Rico. I believe Puerto Rico won bronze medal last year and Singapore won silver. So and Spain won gold. So out of the 5 remaining teams, we have the podium from last year. So we're gonna see high quality races now.
Yeah, and it looks like Puerto Rico managed to do a little bit better here. They overtook one American sailor, so position is now even better for Puerto Rico, especially with the 2 Americans at the top, at the bottom positions. Let's go back to the Swedish match, and we can see Singapore catching up a little bit here on the right side. Probably there were some crosses that we missed. We can see lots of tags happening. It looks like Singapore is also winning on the left. So it's all about can Sweden 49-39 hold these 2 boats coming in for starboard now, and it looks like it's not going to be a problem.
Will we see a rematch from last year coming up, Ton? A rematch?
Who knows? For now, it looks like they could go either way. Sweden has some trouble with only 1 boat in the top, and we're going to see how the mark running goes. But until then, let's go to the action where the American team is doing great. There's only 1 Puerto Rico boat in the top 4 at the moment, which means the Americans can just continue sailing. And this is a complete reversal from what we saw moments ago.
Yes, situation. We go back and forth, and suddenly everything has changed. So we can't miss a second here. We should be watching 2 races at the same time, but that's impossible, obviously. But great stuff coming up. Great sailing by both teams, not losing any chance they have to overtake, and really, really pushing. So hats off to both of them.
Yeah, and it looks like Puerto Rico is going into panic mode. We will probably stay with this match because the Swedish match is second. So once this is over, we're going to see everything going on in Sweden again.
Looks like USA is 1-2-3. Did we just see? Yes, we saw a penalty of USA 99, and Conrad looks like USA 1-2-3, right, Ton?
Yeah, it looks like the Americans are winning this quite easily in the end. And we didn't see any OCS or similar, so I think that means the American team has secured a bronze medal. And with that, we're going to go to the Singaporean match, where Sweden is still fighting strong. It's look like it's a slight favor to Sweden at the moment with 2 Singaporean boats in the back. We can see Sweden trying to sort out the top, but they don't have it at the moment. But there are 1 attack from it. Still, I would say Singapore shouldn't be too worried at this point. There's an attack from Singapore. It's a great attack. Gonna lock up 2 Swedes, and they react a little bit too late, so they're gonna get rolled. That was a massively good maneuver from Singapore 1-4-2, and Sweden even has to attack. That was amazing. So 2 Swedes are now in the back, and we see Sweden, meanwhile, not having the top boats in the top, so that's a complete reversal in this match for now. Even so, Sweden has the opportunity to attack somewhat boats here in the middle. We're gonna see a mark trap, but the problem is Sweden won't have 2 boats in the mark trap, but only 1. There are some strategies going on here, probably. we will see some kind of mark trap from 49.22, but Singapore 149 is ready. But the question is, will 49.39 from Sweden try to pass, or will he attack another boat? And then they will together try to make a double attack. It is very unclear. Given the situation that Singapore comes in with 3 boats, I'm pretty sure we're not going to see a too ambitious attack right away. We see actually a sacrifice here. So they're just going to pick 1 boat each, probably if they really have to. But for now, I think Ants 49.22 will be happy to just delay a little and squeeze everything together. Singapore 149 is also waiting. I can't do much from that position, but can come back on the reach. But that's not in the Singaporean playbook. I think that's not one of the standard strategies. But it's looking really good for Singapore because now they're just passing. That's very dangerous. We now have a 3 against 1 situation here at the mark.
It's going to be a tight one.
Really, really, really bad for Sweden at the moment. Singapore has 1, 2, and 3. Even there's a protest, but probably won't become something. Singapore has a penalty in the back, but Sweden is now hunting the 3rd boat. It's going to be really, really, really hard.
Let's change view.
Yeah, we can see that Singapore is now attacking. That Sweden is now attacking the 3rd Singaporean boat, but it's 3 against 1, and there's only 1 short upwind, looking extremely good for Singapore. And they're both tacking to cover. There will probably be another tack soon by one of the leaders. Yes, 149 is tacking, which means Sweden 4922 is now tripled. Will take the tack to try and hook 1, but will also be tacked upon. If Singapore 149 goes down a little bit on Sweden, this match will be over immediately because the only chance is that Sweden 4922 can lock
164.
Singapore 164 out of the. Oh, and Singapore is abandoning his teammates. So this is actually very interesting still.
He got a penalty.
There was probably some pumping or something going on, and that seals the deal. And Singapore is gonna win this race with 1, 2, and 3, unless actually there's a small chance now that Sweden's 4939 will make some great tacks. But no, it looks like there's too much pressure on the right side, and Singapore is gonna win this race. But there's 1 cross here. We will see this cross. There's a tiny chance. Maybe there is some kind of collision between teammates, but there isn't, and that means Singapore proceeds to the bronze medal and will now go into 1 final match to determine who's going to challenge Team Spain for the gold. We're going to have one last look at the standings to update you with the latest.
We have here the last 2 contenders, Singapore and USA. They will face each other to see who goes against Spain in the final. The other one will take bronze medal. We can see that the teams have slowly started falling off. Hats off to everyone for getting just to the racing is already an achievement, but also this far, the level has gone up slowly and the races have been incredibly tight. So congrats to everyone.
Yeah, and there will be a little bit more delay between the races because we only have 1 match going on at the same time. So we will be right back with you.
Inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, no, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate. This is how legends are made.
This is my boat from Facenda. I'm Team Facenda. I've been using Facenda for the pre-worlds and the regatta before. It's a really good boat. I feel like really fast. I feel like I can pass the waves really good. My tacks, I feel them faster. And today on the team racing, I feel like really fast. So I help my team a lot.
Hello, this is Dick from Winner. We are here in Portorož. We have 75 charter boats here, and we're serving the rest of the fleet as well. Nice to see you.
Hello from Portorož, from the World Championship venue 2025. We are here with our beautiful venue. We expect medium light wind, but can be everything here. So the kids are ready. I see many sailors come earlier here. We are here from one sail to support them, and we will do our best for them. If they need advices, they know where we are, and we will help everybody.
and run out again for the bronze match. So the winner here will take bronze, and the loser will take bronze, and the winner will go to the final against Spain. And we have in Team USA, Mason Rochelle, Miles Gordon, Alexander Montague, Pablo Muniz Montes, and Briggs Cosman. And in Singapore, who do we have here, Pablo?
We have here Ethan Chia, Sean Com, Lucas Cao, Taekwon Pe, and Ashley Tam. It's for sure going to be a tight match coming up.
We are already in the last minute for the start, and we can see the teams are in full fight mode. There was almost no rest for the Singaporean team, who just won against Sweden and had to go immediately down to face the Americans.
Take off.
We can have the Americans going strong on the right side, making sure that they're going to win at the boat end, and then they're also trying to win at the pin end. That's a common strategy, to win both sides, because it makes it a little bit easier, but also makes it a little bit more confusing for the middle boats in the starting line. We have a clear start, and we can see that the Americans have won both sides, and in the middle is still undecided.
Home point updated.
How do we go on after here, Ton? What happens after?
In the matchup?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I said before, the winner of this match will go to the final and face off against Spain in best out of 3, and the loser will go home, but this time the loser will go home with a bronze medal, so even the loser will be quite happy.
So tight match here, USA versus Singapore. They have both proven that even if you lose a match, you can still make it further on. And they're gonna battle. It's gonna be a very tight battle, and they're really, really going to push till the end.
Yeah, and we can see Singapore trying to grab control of the middle and doing so successfully. The Americans are dropping back a little bit on the sides as well, so it's looking very good for Singapore. They're gonna keep the control now as things are, and we'll see if the Americans can do something about the situation. We have a tight battle here between USA 400 and Singapore 142. That's Sean Kong from Singapore locking out an American boat on the left side. And we have, on the right side, we have Singapore 164 taking control, but it's a bit hard for him to make a decision where to go, following an American into the middle. But here is the crossing, that's hard. And he takes the attack, which was probably wise given the situation.
And is this sudden death? The person that loses is out already?
Yeah, so this is a single match, and we can see that the Singaporean team is in a huge lead for the moment. Luckily for the Americans, the one boat had to dock, so that evened it out a little bit, but the Singaporeans are still way ahead in this match so far.
For sure, the USA aren't slow sailors. They're doing really good in individuals. So even if they're not ahead right now, don't count it as over.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Singapore will maybe even be able to get first, second, and third boat to the mark, because they are 2 against 1 in the top.
Singapore 164 going for a protest here. Let's see what the race committee thinks. It is green flag. There was no penalty there.
And now comes the attack from the Americans. From Singapore, and the Americans has to go down, and it looks like Singapore's going to pass. And this is really bad for Team USA, because Singapore now has clear lane.
USA 400 going for protest there.
Luckily, 149
green flag
there to 1-1, so the American can catch up. And here's a starboard situation, and it's very good.
It is tight. And USA is
very good. It could be a complete reversal here, where the Americans can lock 2 Singaporean boats.
Look at 164 trying to pass and not finding a single chance. USA 22684 going for protest. Let's see what we see. We see the red flag in the hand, green flag also. What do the umpires think? Green flag going out there. Great.
So we have Singapore in a huge lead. Here comes an attack, but it's cancelled. It was probably the right choice given the situation. because there are two, or actually you could say it's like 4-1 in a way. But now the rest of the Americans caught up, but still Singapore has a huge advantage in the top.
Big battle here. Big battle for sure. We can see it's tight. Tight maneuvers. We're speaking about centimeters here. It's really tight. USA 400 lifting and asking for protest.
Yeah, and it was here Team Singapore made an amazing rounding last match against Sweden. Let's see if they can do something similar.
Green flag again. Lots of green flags coming up.
There's a penalty for Team USA. So actually, Singapore is doing it again. They have now
Good control.
4 votes here in the top, and only one American to stop this attack. It's looking extremely bad for Team USA.
Let's remember everyone here that we're still in bronze medal position. Like even the loser will take medal, so they all want to push for gold, but at least they'll take something home. So good job in getting this far, and let's see how it plays out now.
Yeah, and now Team USA really needs some pressure in order to catch up. They have 3 guys hunting the top 3 Singaporean boats, but it's a big distance now. Pablo, what do you think? Do you think they will be fast enough?
They'll have to be fast. They don't have another option. It's fast or game over. So we're going to see the US sailors really push the boat and try to be fast and make that distance.
Yeah, and there is some pressure coming in from behind. So I think the gap has closed, but is it enough? Who can tell? We will at least see the Americans trying something. They will probably do something here in the rounding, trying to send maybe 1 or 2 boats just hunting upwards while the other ones take care of the last 164 from Singapore, who's going to be annoying unless they take care of him now. Meanwhile, we have 400 from America. Really needs to go fast and really needs to do whatever he can. It's breaks, no?
Yes.
He needs to be extremely fast now, and unless he can catch up, this is game over for the Americans.
And what options do Americans have now in this reaching an upwind?
Yeah,
For a split?
yeah, they seem to want to take care of 164 early. It's probably a better strategy to like attack upwards when you're in this of a bad position, because it doesn't matter if you win the bottom, if you don't win the top. But the thing is, if you win the top, you can always later win the bottom, but not the reverse. So here they have 2 persons going up, so they have kind of 3-1 or 2 or 4 or even 3-2, but still it looks really bad for the Americans at the moment and very good for Team Singapore.
Let's see what we see happening. USA 400 and USA 22665 need to go for a split. If they go for a split, they'll probably have a chance here of fighting the race. Otherwise, Singapore will just dash off to the finish line.
Yeah, and split is normally the best option, but the problem here is so short. We have enough window, maybe like 3 minutes, so even a split, not that much can happen. But now we see Singapore approaching the line. There's the tack on the left side, and no one is hooked, which means all of them can just sail to the finish. Maybe if some miracle happens, the American boat brigs can make a tack here and fetch 1 boat here. This is going to be it.
Are we going to see here?
Happening? No, it's not happening.
Shame.
That means Team Singapore is going to win this race. And this is the best of 1, so that means Team USA, congratulations to a bronze medal. And congratulations also to Team Singapore, who will now advance to the final and meet Spain in a best of 3. And we're now waiting for the teams to race the final races. That's Spain against Singapore, and probably there's going to be a little bit of a break here because Team Singapore just finished a lot of races while Spanish team have been waiting for a while. And let's walk through the lineup. Pablo, maybe you should do the Spanish team because you know them.
So España. So for Team Spain, we have Jean Palou, Marta Mansito, Alejandro Valero, Mar Infante, and Joan Leonard. These are the Spain is the reigning world champion, so for sure they have silver medal assured, and they're gonna try and revalidate this title they got last year in Mar del Plata. On the other side, we have Singapore, and it's Ethan Chia, Sean Kam, Lucas Cao, Taekwon Pe, and Ashley Tam. These two teams will be fighting for gold and silver. Both were medalists last year. Yeah, ready again for another battle, and let's see how it plays off.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about the Spanish team. Do you know anything about their preparations this year?
Yeah, so this year the nationals have been quite late. I believe the last nationals was in Mar Menor in May, mid-May, so they haven't had lots of time to prepare, unlike last year that they were in Mar del Plata and it was in December. But definitely lots really talented sailor. Jean Palou won International Regata Trofeo Ciudad de Palma. Marta Mansito won Worlds last year. Alejandro Valero won, I believe, Nationals. Mar was also in the podium in Nationals, and Joan Leonard won Excellence Cup. So definitely all winner sailors, and really good.
Yeah, and as for the Singaporean team, I'm a little bit less familiar with them, but I know Ethan Shea has been in the top of the world for a long time, sailing, I think, maybe 2 or 3 Regatta Champions and also multiple World Championships. And I also know that their coach Sherman is very experienced. I met him already in 2017 in Thailand, I think, if I remember correctly. I think at the time he was even working maybe with Fernando, who's the Spanish coach. Not sure if they are like permanently working together or if they maybe just race together temporarily to practice at the time. But for sure, these teams will be familiar with each other, and we're gonna see some great races happening.
Yeah, and also interesting is that we have here is Spain, same final as last year was Spain versus Singapore. Coming again into this final, we have Marta Mansito from Spain. The rest of the team is new. Some were Europeans last year, and some is their first international regatta. Whilst on Singapore's side, that won silver medal last year, we have Ethan, Sean, and Taekwon. That both that were the 3 of them team members in Mar del Plata. So yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a more experienced team from Singapore and more of a new team from Spain, but for sure they are both really good in individual and team racing as they've got this far.
Yeah, and we will take a little break and be
I've got that lightning inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, oh, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate. This is how legends are made.
This is my boat from Facenda. I'm Team Facenda. I've been using Facenda for the pre-worlds and the regatta before. It's a really good boat. I feel like really fast. I feel like I can pass their ways really good. My tacks, I feel them faster. And today on the team racing, I feel like really fast. So I help my team a lot.
Hello, this is Dick from Winner. We are here in Portorož. We have 75 charter boats here, and we're serving the rest of the fleet as well. Nice to see you.
Hello from Portorož, from the World Championship venue 2025. We are here with our beautiful venue. We expect medium light wind, but can be everything here. So the kits are ready. I see many sailors come earlier here. We are here from one sail to support them, and we will do our best for them. If they need advices, they know where we are, and we will help everybody.
So we're into racing. Last minute of the first start of Singapore versus Spain finals. And it is going to be for sure a very tight match.
Yeah, and this is a best out of two, so that means it's a little bit less pressure. We might see some more risky maneuvers, people willing to risk more when they can lose the one match.
Very few seconds to go. Looks like that nobody is really pressing against the line, so let's see how it pays off. Singapore 164 starting to get close. And let's see how the race starts. No protest at the moment, nobody doing turns. Looks like Spain is pushing more towards this left side of the start, right, Tom?
Yeah, we can see some boats pushing the line a lot.
Oh, we have individual
recalls probably. We will see maybe even three.
Who do you think it was? I think these two that are going back.
For sure, those two guys, but maybe someone else. No, that's all.
That's all.
So it's because there was one from each team, it's still quite even. We can see Spain having an advantage here, leading. Oh, Spain is choosing to duck. Oh, Singapore makes a really nice move instead of continuing trying to take the outer side. Maybe the outer side might not pay off in the long run, but still the awareness to make the
Spain 3-6-9-6 doing turns. It is definitely a tight match.
On the left side, it looks like Spain
3-5-8-1, looking faster.
Might even take one more tack just to save his teammates, and that's correct. So we're gonna see Singapore 142 in trouble here. Gonna drop down to third out of these three boats. Meanwhile, Spain has some issues probably in the middle here. We're gonna see two Spanish boats under the control of Singapore. Singapore seems to really wanna control the right side and enter the mark on the right side. Yeah, it gives some advantage because you're the starboard boat, but it also means you have to tack. So it's not always better to come in from the right unless you're the very first boat.
Singapore 149 going to for attack. 357 tacking on top. 357 tacking again. We're seeing lots of tacks here. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, and looks like Spain is retaining the lead, but there's still one Spanish boat that's going to be hooked if nothing changes.
We're seeing Lucas Carr now trying to take this initial lead and control of the race. Lucas Carr is overall 10th individual result, so he's for sure fast sailor, and we're going to see him trying to take control of this race. Looks like he's getting very slam dunked by the Spanish. We have Sean just passing behind him, and the Spanish are not afraid of slowing down if needed.
Yeah, and it looks like there was a slight mistake there from Singapore with some extra unnecessary tacks, which means that Spain might be able to squeeze the third boat on the left. Is that Marta maybe? To pass ahead. Here it comes to cross, and she's not going to pass. So that's very good for Team Singapore.
Now Spain 3570 has to decide if to go back to the mark or keep on. Yeah, he's going back to the mark. He's doing the course. Marta's already hooked with the other person, so they can't afford two boats on one side, right? Singapore starting to come here strong. They looked like they had a bit of a weaker start, and now they're waiting here. Spain 3581 waiting. We're seeing lots of tacks in the zone. 1-1. 1-1 goes for protest. Singapore 2-1.
Yeah, and it looks like Spain was a little bit indecisive there. They had a plan, but I think it fell apart, and now they're evaluating what to do. For now, it looks like Singapore has the initiative, not meaning they're going to win, but it's a little bit easier for them to know what to do.
And we have Spanish boat really in last place. Spain boat 3696 protesting. He probably saw something from another angle and is just asking for umpire decision. Green flag there coming up.
So Team Singapore is now getting back into this. and it looks like they have a slightly better position where it matters, which is what we see here in the image, the picture. The big fight is going to happen for Spain 36-60. Is that boat going to drop down to 7th position or not? That's going to be the key here, and it looks like it will. And we also know that the Singaporean team is masterful at controlling the reach mark. We had the drone dying there for us for a while, so
Let's just
move over to the table, and then we'll see if we can get the drone back online.
This is what we have at the moment. We're in race 30, Spain versus Singapore, and it's going to be the best of 3 races. As you can see, USA already has bronze medal for sure. We now have another drone rushing off to the race course. Bit tricky here in Slovenia, sometimes the internet, but we're doing our best. Thanks for joining us. Let's just see how the drone is coming back. Looks like the fleet is already in the downwind. Let's see how it's playing off for them. In the previous seconds, looks like Singapore had a bit of a better chance and opportunity in that race, but everything can change as we've seen lately. So let's see how it plays out. For everyone watching, let us know who you're cheering for. We have Singapore and Spain, so let's see who has more fans watching with us. Let us know. We're approaching here this downwind mark. We're still a bit far away to see how this race is playing off, but we're slowly getting there, slowly. We're super close to the shore. You can see how close the Slovenian coastline is. And let's just remind ourselves, this is the first of 3 races. You need to win 2 out of 3 to become world champion. So if looks like the fleet got super tight here, lots of jibes going on. Spain 3581 that was in the lead, looks like he's 4th overall now. Did good job there, just squashing the whole group together. And we have Singapore 142 just passing over his teammate, but also slowing down. He doesn't want to be too fast. They want to take control of this race. But Spain looking very aggressive here. Spain in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position. And looks like Singapore would be losing right now. As you can see, anything can turn around from 1 second to another. And we have Spain 3C60 taking turns. So that's going to be very costly. We have Singapore still in the lead, 1st and 2nd, but looks like Speedy Juan from Spain could even manage to push. We're getting into chaos again here down in this gate. Spain 3581 asking for starboard. Will we see a protest coming from his side? Great job there by the Spanish guys. I'm maybe being a bit biased, but they're doing a really good job, really getting into sync and making sure to not screw each other up because they're working as a team. Great job also by their coach, Fernando Alegre. He's got lots of really developed playbook. When we spoke with him a few weeks ago, he told us few secrets of how to work as a team. So if any of you are watching from home and want to push for next year's Worlds, go check this out. It's on our YouTube channel. But as you can see, the race is not over. Spain is now into 2nd overall. Singapore into 1st, fending him off. Singapore 1-1 going back to help his teammates. We are seeing tags. We are seeing highest level of team racing in the world. We have the Singapore Sailing Federation cheering for Singapore, and we have Somkiat also cheering for Singapore. Are there any Spaniards out there cheering? It looks like Spain would have a 1st place right now with Juan from Spain 3570. Juan Palo really fending off, heading up, and Singapore comes in. Spain comes in. Spain 3570 not in yet. He has to think, is this, nobody's coming in, they're all waiting. It's going to be a tight one. Spain getting a first here. Spain getting a second here. If 3696 can make it, it's match for them, and it's match for them. Good job, Spain. Good job. As you can see, also 7 and 8 for Singapore. So that's first match to Spain, first to 3. We are one match away, maybe from seeing the world champion being crowned. Could it be Spain getting crowned again for second year in a row? Now we'll have a little break while the teams go back to the start, but the conditions are incredible today. No time to be lost. Let's just see the graphics overlay of how everything is looking at the moment. At the moment, we have in our top 3 Spain taking race number 30, 1 point ahead. They're 1 point away from match point. And now we have 2 more potential races left to see the world champion crowned. Spain managed to turn around this race. Didn't look good in the top upwind mark, but they managed to turn it around, so hats off to them. This is where Singapore came from. Singapore started against USA, beat USA. They managed to beat Italy after, and then they managed to beat Brazil also, but lost against them in the winners bracket. This pushed them off to the losers bracket, where they came in against Sweden. Sweden did a great job, but unfortunately didn't manage to fend off the Singapore team that's really hunting for gold. From there onwards, we saw again another match, Singapore versus USA, where we saw Singapore winning once again. We're very close to starting again. Let's just refresh ourselves with who the sailors are in both teams. We have for Spain, representing Spain, Jean Palau, Marta Mancito, Alejandro Valero, Mar Infante, and Joan Leonard versus Singapore, trying to beat the Spaniards. We have Ethan Chia, Sean Kam, Lucas Cao, Taek Woon Pe, and Ashley Tam. 5 great sailors from each team trying to fend off and trying to achieve this world champion. Let's just remind ourselves that both teams already have for sure silver medal ensured, and they're just fighting off to see who takes gold. Spain is 1 victory away, and Singapore has to win 2 races. We're now going to play a short message by Weka. We spoke with Weka before the Worlds, and he has some tips for us. For all of you watching at home, trying to get into here and into this World Championship team racing regatta next year, here's his tips.
Hi guys, some advice for team racing. What I personally think is the most important thing when you're doing team racing is to focus on sailing fast and having a lot of speed. If you have a lot of speed, you could always catch up to your opponents, or you could keep the opponents behind you. And back in my time, this was something that many teams struggled with, and all the teams that ended up in front were the teams with the fastest sailors, with the people who were sailing the fastest. So if I were to give you advice on something to focus on, is sailing fast and having a lot of speed.
We see the teams here still with their coaches, just trying to get that last briefing. We'll soon see them go for the last, or maybe the second to last race. Depends on how Spain does. If Spain manages to win, they will be world champions back to back. And if Singapore manages to win, it will be one more race. So let's see how it goes. Nothing is decided still. So for everyone joining back, we have here the second race of the finals, first minute in. For anybody joining new, there's no much time to do mistakes. Green flag is already up. 2 minutes or less to start. We can see the fleet really above the line, probably pushing each other above, and that's something Tom commented before. That's quite typical from Singapore strategy. Let's see how it plays out. Let's just remind ourselves that if you do an OCS, you can correct your mistake by crossing the line and going back up. But if you do not correct your mistake and you have a P flag disqualified, you will get 10 points plus your position. So that can be very, very costly. Let's just remind ourselves of the sailors once again while we're waiting for the real action to start. We have Jan Palou from Spain, Marta Mancito, Alejandro Valero, Mar Infanta, and Juan Leonard. And from Singapore, we have Ethan Chia, Sean Kum, Lucas Cao, Taek Woon Pe, and Ashley Tan. 10 great sailors and only one winner team. So let's see how it goes. 1 minute to start. We're seeing the Singapores approaching the line from above. Spain 3570 waiting there. Risky maneuver by Singapore. Singapore has 2 sailors above the line. Singapore 1-1 has to go inside the line still. If not, they will be scored. P flag disqualified. Again, Spanish sailors really fending off for this pennant. We have another camera to check the view. From the race committee, gun is off. Individual recall. Individual recall. Looks like Singapore 164 is going to correct the mistake. Will it be them? Yes, it was them over the line. So Singapore has some catching up to do now. Spain really pushing from this pennant side. Let's check it from here. 3 boats in the left side. Maybe they're seeing there's a bit more pressure and they're really pushing for it. And let's see how it goes. Singapore definitely not the best start for this race. It's going to be a really tricky race. Spain 3696 just stacking there. Followed by Spain 3570. Could this be the last match? Are we going to see the last match right now? 208 people going here. Let's see which country has more fans. Is it going to be Spain or is it going to be Singapore? Again, Spain 3581 looking fast again on the lead. Small sailor, he's Jan, he's under 13. Coincidentally, he's from my club and really talented, and as you can see, a really fast sailor. Spain could have the chance to seal the deal now. Let's see how it goes. Spain 3660 just tacking on top, with Singapore 149 tacking to windward. Let's switch cameras to see it from the other side. It's incredible having 2 cameras here. We can get so many points of view. Looks like Spain 3570 is crossing ahead easily. Looks like he'll probably be rounding on first, but nothing is done for now. Nothing is done. Just tagging up top on Singapore 1-1. Will we see him give away? Yes, he's giving away a bit of distance to give a bit of breathing space to his teammate 3696. 3696 just tagging on top of 142. Credible setup we have here. And Spain looking strong, right, Tom?
Yeah, I just joined here, so I'm trying to familiarize myself with the race, but it looks like Spain has a very good position, as you said.
We could maybe see them seal the deal now and take the world's back-to-back world champions. But let's see how it works out. Yeah. Singapore 1-1 pushing here right for the starboard ley line to have control of the mark. We could maybe see him leave over past the first Spaniards, but let's see how it plays out. Well done there by Juan Leonard, just slowing him down, giving a bit of breathing space to Spain 3696. Let's see what we see happening now. Spain 3570 attacking. Will we see him control the mark, Tom?
Yeah, looks like Spain will, without any problem, just continue racing here without doing anything really. There's too big of a gap to actually bother doing, like trying to increase it even more. So now it's probably just better to sail.
Spain can't afford to lose the the last boat, they have to be fast. They have to sail fast because Spain is also in last position. Spain 3660 is in last position. And if Singapore could trap any of their sailors, a 7 and 8 would be fatal for Spain.
Indeed, but for now it's a big gap, and we know already that Spain is really drilled in these kinds of positions. So we will see if Singapore has a chance to catch up.
Are we seeing here the last race of the Team Racing Worlds? Are we going to see Spain crowned 2025 World Champions?
Yeah, as things are now, I think we will.
As things are now, looks like Spain is going to be happy, especially with Coach Happy.
Yeah.
So let's see how it plays out.
So we will see if Spain can hold it together. Singapore is really far behind, not really closing the gap. Not much they can do.
And the sailors just need to focus on sailing fast. If they focus on sailing fast, we could see this finish now. There's a big, good wave to surf here. We can see the small chop that's created by the wind blowing the whole day. We didn't see this wave at the start of the morning, but as the day has passed by, we've seen it increase slowly. Spanish sailors can be happy, but not too happy still. They have still one reaching and one upwind to do, and anything could happen. So we just have to keep on waiting and see how the race finishes.
Yeah. And Singapore now rounding the mark. 5 meter gap, 3 against 1. It's going to be tough, but it's not impossible. We have seen, as I said before, bigger gaps being closed. Maybe not these worlds, but other worlds.
We have seen Singapore turn things around in the finishing line very often. So if they can manage to hook just one sailor and push him to 7th, we could see the race being turned around.
Yeah, and if the hook one, Spain already has the last boat. So Spain's going to be in a panic if that happens. But for now, it doesn't look like Singapore is about to hook anyone, so we will see now.
They close the distance, that's for
that's
sure.
Very good. Now they can split, and at least they have a tiny chance. There's the chance to make a tackle 149.
Looks like they managed to hook the first sailor.
Yeah, now it looks decent. It's not looking good, but it's not looking hopeless anymore.
Singapore, the fighters of the day, winning races in the finishing line.
Here. See if the umpires will call any yellow flags, or it's a red flag here in team racing. And we will see if there's a chance. But it looks like Spain, 36.96. There's a tiny chance to hook that person, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But there was a tiny chance, and I think the chance is gone now. So that means Spain's going to cruise into a victory here. It looks like it's over, and that we have not a new world champion, but the same world champion.
Back-to-back world champions, looks like. We have a few more seconds to see it, and looks like we could be in a back-to-back world champions.
Yeah, and Singapore was second last year as well.
So we're repeating.
Congratulations to them.
Look at them celebrating. Spain world champions 2025. Spain team racing world champions. Congrats, guys. Great job there by the whole team.
Congratulations to everyone who participated also. We have seen some great team racing today. And this stream will probably be used for some educational purposes.
Yes. We definitely have here some educational resource. And we can see that we're going to be able to see great mark traps. This is definitely going to be incredible for learning team racing. And also for learning fleet racing. We've been working on a course in Road to Gold. You can see the link in the description. We've been playing some adverts also through the regatta and through the days. So if you want to improve your individual results, you can also check that. Congrats to Spain once again, back-to-back world champions. Look at them celebrating. They must look, and they are incredibly happy. Marta Mancito, the only one that has back-to-back world champions. The rest of the team are new, but congrats to all of them. They have been incredibly consistent throughout these 2 days.
Yeah, now we're going to see some baiting and jumping in the water. Yes, there it's clear. I think they got confirmation. So, wow.
Vamos España!
And also congratulations to Singapore for their silver medal, which is extremely strong as well.
Look at them celebrating. Great job by all of them. Incredible work. We can already see boats capsized. They're really happy. But we're missing one sailor, right? There's 4. Where's the last one? Is he already?
Yeah, maybe in the ribs, so maybe they only had 4 boats on the water. I don't know. We will probably see the 5th sailor and also Coach Happy joining the team in their celebration. So we are thanking for us, and we're gonna come back tomorrow to start with the final races.
Yes. We have crowned one of the 4 world championships that are available in this regatta. We have the individual girls, individual boys, Nations Cup, which is the best sailors in individual results, so not in team racing. And then we also have team racing winners. We have 1 out of 4 winners crowned. 3 days to know the last 3 winners. So we'll be back tomorrow with more racing.
Yeah, and you can see there he congratulated the Spanish team. Some great sportsmanship there. And yeah, we will be back tomorrow.
Thanks for.
I've got that lightning inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, oh, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate. This is how legends are made.
This is my boat from Facenda. I'm Team Facenda. I've been using Facenda for the pre-worlds and the regatta before. It's a really good boat. I feel like really fast. I feel like I can pass their ways really good. My tacks, I feel them faster. And today on the team racing, I feel like really fast. So I help my team a lot.
Hello, this is Dick from Winner. We are here in Portorož. We have 75 charter boats here, and we're serving the rest of the fleet as well. Nice to see you.
Hello from Portorož, from the World Championship venue 2025. We are here with our beautiful venue. We expect medium light wind, but can be everything here. So the kids are ready. I see many sailors come earlier here. We are here from one sail to support them, and we will do our best for them. If they need advices, they know where we are, and we will help everybody.